Live. And we're live.
Yes, we're live again because that's the thing that we still say. What's up, Chris? I'm wearing a tank top. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I feel like that just signifies because we're in summer now. So
it was a good seasonal choice, Tom.
I also just want to be comfy, so that probably helps. But yeah, so
these movies they have a cozy feel, so I think comfort is important.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So Chris, as you know, he's the TV nerd. I'm the movie nerd. We're back on Talkin TV. And Chris, so I came up with a little bit of like a log line kind of when we were talking before. And can I just test it out on the people? I want to see if we can get a live feedback from our audience now.
Are you talking about from our phone call earlier?
Yeah. What else would I be talking about?
Disclaimer, super raw, but I'm about it.
Okay, ready for this, people? Ready? Talkin TV, the halfway between critic and commentary. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about that as our tagline. I think it's pretty good, but it's also a work in progress.
I think you kind of just cemented it, though, saying it live here.
I don't think so.
I'm okay with
that. No, because what I cemented was that it's a work in progress. I didn't cement the actual phrase.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think, if anything, you've cemented that it's a good direction to go in. And I like that. We're going to refine it. We're going to chip away at it. We're going to chisel it out and really make it something worthwhile. But I think it's a solid stepping point. So I appreciate the thinking.
You really emphasized the word chisel there. I'm not going to ask why. But yeah, so we're back. We've got
I didn't think too much about it. But.
Exactly. That's what made it even funnier. So we're back, people. We've got another watch along going on. And this week, continuing, ironically enough, from last week with our very successful Jurassic World watch along, where, again, the stars just kind of aligned there with what's up, Luck?
It's where I am, and life is good. Yes. The stars are aligning yet again, it seems.
Yes, it is. And again, because once again, when I was talking with Chris, when we were planning out these couple watch-alongs, last weekend worked out because it turned out to be Jurassic World's 5-year anniversary. And then I was looking ahead for the weeks, and ironically enough, because again, this is just how these things work, awesome. Certain Vid says that the phrase sounds solid. Again, it's a work in progress, but we might need a little bit more fine-tuning. But ironically enough, when I look forward to the next week, I was like, oh, wow. How ironic. The following week is Toy Story 3's 10-year anniversary. And lo and behold, besides the fact that I just have to constantly kick myself in the head in order to realize, wow, Toy Story 3 is 10 years old, because it would already felt... Because the crazy thing is that it was so baffling when I watched that movie in theaters the first time, actually a drive-thru, but because it had already felt like so long since Toy Story 2, and so just kind of getting that movie was satisfying in its own right. And now we're here 10 years later for the 10-year anniversary to watch along on the Talkin TV channel for Toy Story 3. Chris, I don't know if you're as baffled as I am or just ready to get going with this. I don't know. Because you've already expressed kind of that your thoughts on just Pixar in general and animation of this type in general is obviously different than mine. So
yeah, one thing I can say is Colin, who we'll introduce here in a few, he was sort of saying while we were getting ready to go and sort of backstage, right? Backstage life for all you out there. We have some pretty funny conversations, I got to say, that of which we'll leave backstage. But Colin did say something along the lines of Finding Nemo, great film. And I was like, you know what? That might just be in my top films of all time. So I have a very love-hate with Pixar because I can't really connect with the super little kiddie aspects of these styles of film, especially as I get older and older. But I really try too, because I have fond memories of being a little kid and this isn't Pixar, but going to see Disney Tarzan in theaters. And I know for a fact my parents took me to see Toy Story 1 and 2 in theaters, and I know for a fact I went and saw Finding Nemo in theaters, but I don't really remember them too well also because I was younger, but I have fond feelings attached to them and vague memories, so I try to carry it through to my adulthood, but it is a little more difficult for me than you, I would say. But yeah. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to re-experience this film and discuss it with everyone and really celebrate it for the achievement that it is. Because whether or not I feel about it, it's a very well-received film.
Yeah, so. And real quick, just bring it over to the chat. Yes, certain vids. Next month, Inception is turning 10. This is going to be a lot of momentous 10-year anniversaries. But yeah, the thing about me, if I could just give my personal thoughts on Pixar and why kind of this genre of film almost, because Pixar really has kind of evolved into a genre of filmmaking at this point, has always kind of stuck with me, is the fact that it always shocked me how, even I was a little kid, how mature these movies felt. And if anything, it just allowed them to kind of get better as we got older. And it's funny because, as Colin said, in our Onward podcast that we had, which potentially makes him our first official guest that we had on the podcast back before quarantine became a thing, was that Pixar movies have this really interesting way of being adult movies disguised as kids movies. I don't know if I actually got that specifically right, but I think it was something along those lines. So yeah, and it's kind of a stigma that stuck with most of their films. And if anything, it's kind of a thing that kind of went away with this past decade when they kind of just got stuck in sequel territory. And it really made me sad because like that was what made Pixar, was the fact that they actually had some really interesting, really like surprisingly mature ideas for movies about like toys and talking rats and talking cars and monsters and all the other crazy stuff and talking fish and all the other crazy stuff and characters that they had in their movies. So that's kind of
sounds absurd when you say it out loud.
Yeah, but then you actually watch the movies and you realize that each one of these movies was a huge box office success, a huge critical success, and just very, very beloved by specifically people from our generation, but also like stuff like people of all generations.
Yeah, no, these films certainly are undeniable in regards to the quality, the tact employed by the filmmakers, and just obviously their success. So, with that being said, Dom, we could talk about cars and talking fish all night, but I think we have some guests to talk with as well.
Yes, we do. Let's start bringing them in, dude.
Yeah, I think it's only right to bring in Colin first because we've kind of been bringing him up a little bit. So everyone, please welcome first-time guest, and we're happy to have him back on yet another Pixar episode, Colin Williams of Colin Williams Reviews, to the show. What's going on,
person this time?
What's going on? Really excited to watch Toy Story 3. It's been a while since I had seen this film. At least we're not watching Scoob. We're watching a good animated movie. So I'm really excited about that. So looking forward to. I've never done a watch along either, so really looking forward to it. Glad to be back with you guys as well. Back on the podcast, so really excited. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, we're happy to have you here. And before we take you out of your solo talking head, why don't you just tell people a little bit about what you do on your channel and where they can find all that good stuff?
Oh my goodness, you're putting me on the spot. No, on my channel I do what like a lot of people that we're gonna have on the stream do. I talk movies, a little bit of TV here and there. I do reactions, Blu-ray hauls, rankings, top 10 lists. I also do a podcast with my buddy, but he'll be in it soon, like really soon, so he'll introduce that soon. But I just talk movies and do a bunch of things on my channel, movie related. And yeah, it's going good so far. I started back in January, and just really happy to be able to connect with some people and meet some people in this awesome community, do live streams. So that's who I am. And yeah, and all these people in the live stream, really thank you for coming by and watching. So
yeah, man, and thank you again for taking some time out of your evening to come and hang. And
I was so busy just doing nothing, but it's okay.
All right, man. With this quarantine. Next, we're going to throw it to Ankit of the Casual Moviegoer, who's back yet again. What's going on, man? Thanks for being here.
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me back. I had a really fun time last time. So, yeah, my name is Ankit. I am the Casual Moviegoer. Anyone who follows my page knows it's the home of the most energetic 60-second reviews you're going to find on Instagram. And I'm really excited to be here because I love Pixar. I know, Chris, you don't, but I love Pixar. I love animated movies. They're like, it's probably my favorite genre out there. And Toy Story, like me and Toy Story go way back. I remember having Toy Story 1 and 2 on VHS in the big plastic case. And the fact that this movie's 10 years old now it really hurts me in the heart because now I feel old. But, it's been a while since I've seen it, so I'm excited.
Yeah, man. And where can people find your page and keep up to date with all things Casual Moviegoer?
I am only on Instagram, Casual Moviegoer, at the Casual Moviegoer.
Yeah, there's some good stuff over there. I don't know how you do it in 60 seconds, but you do it, and you make me feel terrible. How about it takes me an hour to like barely touch my points on something sometimes.
So like a movie gone in 60 seconds, but somehow faster.
Yeah, it's hard. I know we were in the backstage, as you were talking about earlier. We were talking about jump cuts, and I use jump cuts like crazy because every second counts when it's 60 seconds. So I get right down in there in the minute detail. I'm like, okay, this breath can get deleted, and then I can save us 2 seconds.
Yeah, so certain vids in the chat talking about editing, definitely go check out Ankit's page because he is the master of jump cuts. With that being said, this next dude, he's kind of like our YouTube guru. Like
pretty much.
Elliott has just been so gracious, so generous, and just like his hustle is so inspiring that like I just learned so much from watching this guy, and he constantly improves, and he just keeps going up and up and up. So we're happy to have him back yet again. Please welcome Elliott of Movie Files to the channel.
What's up, everybody? Toy Story. Watch along. Very excited to watch this. This is one of my favorite franchises of any franchise, whether it be live action or animated. But yeah, happy to be here with you guys tonight talking about Toy Story 3. 10 years. Jesus. But yeah, as Chris said, you guys can find me on the YouTubes, talking movies, talking TV shows, doing some watch alongs as well. But very excited to be here with you all tonight to talk about Toy Story 3.
Yes, this is going to be a fun one. Regardless of how I feel about it, I like the energy on this panel right now. So,
but and we have men watching Toy Story. I love it.
Yes, let's go. I was waiting for somebody to say that. I'm like, yeah,
so true. And hey, it gets better.
Entered my mind.
Sure. Yeah, right. I mean, Yolo kind of made the same joke last week about Jurassic World, but hey, if anything, I feel like it's even more resonant here.
Hashtag YOLO 2020. And with that being said, we have our last guest and our first time having this fine gentleman on our show, Ryan O'Toole of Ryan O'Toole Reviews. What is going on, brother? Thanks for being here, man.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm excited to be here. Toy Story 3, one of my favorite movies of all time. I saw this movie when I was a 14-year-old kid in the theater, and now a 24-year-old man watching it with you guys. I'm excited to be here.
That is the ultimate rags to riches story, and growing up as a cinema kid type thing. But so before we jump to the main event, man, why don't you tell people about where they can find your channel and what it is you do over on YouTube and all the other places you're active?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can find me on YouTube at just my name, Ryan O'Toole. I do movie reviews just like everybody here. I do ranking videos, I do Blu-ray videos, and like Colin mentioned earlier, I do a podcast with him called the Fallen for Film Podcast, where we dive into all the newest trends in movie news. We do tons of different things on there. We talk movie news, we play games, we do top 5 lists. We have on a bunch of guests, and it's a really fun time to talk about movies and just do a podcast together. I also have an Instagram. I also have a letterbox where I do written reviews, Twitter, Facebook, all the social media, Snapchat. I don't use it a lot, but I figured I'd mention it. But I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
We're happy to have you, man. So, guys, this is the panel. This is the night. This is the show. It's happening. Dom, you usually have a few things that we kind of talk about before we jump into the film, and I'm sure you came prepared for this one, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my whole thing, obviously, and again, Colin, like I said, kind of, not to like kind of short it, but Colin kind of already touched on this a little bit when he was on our Onward episode. Again, I'm going to constantly keep plugging that. But real quick, before I jump into everyone, Ryan, I just wanted to ask you, because obviously it's your first time being on the channel. No relation to Peter O'Toole, right? I just have to get that joke out of the way. I'm sure it's not the first time that you told it, but...
No, I've gotten that so many times. Do you like your great-great-grandfather? I'm like, no.
No relation. I figured. I had to make the joke. I just had to get it out of the way now before somebody else brought it up.
And I know this is your next question. I'm not related to Jake Gyllenhaal. I know I look like him, but I'm not. I'm in no relationship to him, even though
I see it. But the problem is the facial features don't line up. Jake Gyllenhaal's got a very distinct look, like with those bug eyes. So kind of just
everything about me.
Yeah, right. Just before we kick this off, though, kick off the movie, I should say, I guess I kind of wrap around everyone again. Chris and I kind of talked about this a little bit before we brought you guys on with kind of the idea of what Pixar, in general, specifically for taking Toy Story out of it for a second, just the idea of what Pixar, kind of go around and kind of explain like what Pixar means to each one of you guys, kind of like what your own relationship with it is and why you think it is that for a kid's genre, I'm going to call it, because that's basically what Pixar is at this point, a genre of animated kids movies, why it seems to still be so resonant for us even as we get into kind of like our 20s and 30s for some, so kind of go around. I guess start with Colin.
I kind of trolled Scoob earlier talking about this, but what Pixar makes it so great is they don't need to throw confetti and pop songs and pop culture references and basically make it a superhero movie like Scoob did and a lot of animated movies do to resonate with kids. If you guys don't know me, I work with kids. That's literally my job. It's what I do for a career. I teach children. So I think, and there are older kids, but I think a lot of times adults and these filmmakers make the common mistake that they don't give kids enough credit for how smart they really are. And so they watch these films that are, yes, kid films, Monsters, Inc., Toy Story, whatever, Toy Story 3, Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, but because they appeal to an adult audience, they connect to it too. I remember some of my like early kind of Disney movies that were for families, but then had more mature like elements to it that I really appreciated and connected to. Like Holes was a good example. And the reason I loved it is because it had like mature themes to it. So I think kids, one, are going to resonate with it, and two, understand it more than we give them credit for. So that's why Pixar is so successful, because parents don't mind taking their kids every single year to see a Pixar film because they're so well made, they're so emotional. The animation's obviously fantastic, and they dive into things that are interesting. Like Disney, for all its great things that it's done, it's like a lot of Disney princess stuff. DreamWorks kind of dives in like the fairy tale aspects of it, and then Pixar just does these like movies about toys or movies about emotions or movies about monsters, and it's just great. So I love the franchise so much. One of the most rewatchable, probably the most rewatchable, honestly. I could just throw on a Pixar movie at any point, and I'm a grown man and I'm not afraid to say it.
It happens, my dude. Yeah. So then moving around then to Ankit, what would I guess kind of in order to specify this more, what's your first memory of your experience with Pixar? What is it that Pixar means to you, and why do you think it's so appealing to so many people?
First memory with Pixar. I'm trying to remember the first film I saw. Honestly, it's probably gonna be Toy Story, and I think maybe even Toy Story 2, because like I said, I used to have the VHS, and honestly, my memory is just like watching it in my parents' room on the carpet. Nothing special about it. It's just, I think it just ties into that theme of nostalgia, and that is probably why people our age are going to have a closer connection to Pixar, because we've grown up like 10, 20 years with it. But I think the reason it's kind of been so timeless so far is because, like everyone has said so far, it appeals to the kids and the adults. Like I know the movies I watched as a kid, I liked them for a certain reason, and then as I got older, I like picked up on so many different aspects that I never noticed before. It's kind of like watching The Simpsons. You know, you watch it one way when you're younger, and then as you get older, you're like, oh, this means something completely else. And I think people don't appreciate enough that Pixar is not afraid to take risks. Even though I know we talked a bit about it being like a pretty template approach to filmmaking, there is the idea that this is a kids movie that's not afraid to show death or loss, or like dealing with stuff about like mental health and all that, and like a bunch of darker topics. So I think there's definitely something really important there. And then lastly, like everyone said, like Colin said, like it makes you fall in love with stuff you never imagined before. Toys, sure. Like I would just play with them. I never imagined them having a life on their own. Monsters, cars, you know, like so I think it's just that's their key. That's their key to winning. It's just taking things that we see every day. We don't have a second thought to it, but then the moment you would actually put attention to it, you're like, yeah, there's actually something beautiful here.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. Elliot, same thing. Yeah. What is your first memory with a Pixar movie, and what do you think? What does Pixar mean to you, and why do you think it is that Pixar is so resonant and emotional with so many people?
Yeah, no, same with like Ankit said, the first Toy Story in '95. You know, I remember seeing that as a kid, and just I think what they do a good job at is just relatability. We all have had, experiences with toys and want our toys to come to life and have a life of their own and interact with them. And as you get older, when you revisit grandparents' house, parents' house, and you see your old toys, you always have that. You just immediately kind of click and put yourself back in that state when you were a little kid. And it's even the conversations that have been held within this particular franchise is you're seeing Andy grow, right? And then as Andy's growing, we're growing right there with them, So it just makes it that more, tangible, makes it more relatable. And it's just one of those franchises, and just Pixar as a whole, they know how to, they're one of the few franchises that kind of are timeless in the sense of, again, like Ankit said, and even Colin said, when you see these films when you're a kid and when you get older, you can still relate to stuff that's going on. And Ankit said it perfectly. You can still experience certain things and pick certain things out as you get older. We don't really spend that much time with Andy's mom, but I mean, hey, can you imagine having your own one day and them kind of having imaginary toys and all that different stuff? So, I mean, it's just one of those franchises that just knows how to play the fence well, where it appeases kids, but at the same time, we know that kids can't go to the theater by themselves. Their parents have to go there, so they have to talk to the adult audience as well. And it's just one of those. I literally, like when people talk about Star Wars, like I didn't grow up with Star Wars. I didn't grow up in the 70s. That was way beyond my 20 plus years before I was born. But Toy Story is like the one franchise I say I grew up with, and it's continually. I mean, just last year we had Toy Story 4, so it's just one of those things that are just so tangible and so relatable, and just love the franchise.
Absolutely. And then moving on down the line, Ryan, same thing. What is your first memory of a Pixar movie, and why is it that you think they're so relatable to so many people, even as they get older?
Yeah, just like what everybody said here, Pixar, we grew up with these movies. We were born when Pixar started. Like for me personally, I grew up when the first Toy Story movie came out. I was born in 1995, and then the first Toy Story movie came out. Bam, it's a classic, and it just has everything that a kid can relate to. We all love toys. We all grow up playing with our toys, but then eventually as we get older, we have to learn to grow up and move past our toys into, growing up in real life. And that's what these three movies did really well. The first two, it's Andy as a kid. And then Toy Story 3, he's going off to college and he's too old now to play with his toys and he just gives them up. And I just think these movies resonate with a lot of people. And I think Pixar is one of the few movie franchises that can relate to kids and adults, all in particular, because adults watching these movies, adults that have children too can understand what these kids see in these movies. And they just have movies that resonate with both kids and adults. And I just think these movies do a great job with comedy, with drama, with real world lessons, and just fun. Like all these movies pretty much are fun for me. And I just think the Toy Story franchise means a lot to me. I grew up with it. I'm passionate about it. I love talking about it with people. The characters, everything, it shaped me up into the person I am today, and for many people as well.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with any of them. So then I guess, Chris, so we getting this thing started?
We will in a few minutes. I do have to say, good points all around, fellas. And even though I'm not like the biggest Pixar guy, Toy Story though, this film, the original, is near and dear to my heart. And so I'm excited to sort of explore this film. I'm not going to lie, I hadn't seen it until Dom was like, hey, just get at least a little familiar with it before this watch along tonight. So I did skim it a little bit. We have a big weekend slated here, Dom and I. So I also had to watch King of Staten Island as well. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge to something coming this week on our channel. But, so I'm really excited to kind of really experience this with an open mind for the first time in its entirety with you guys here. And so before we jump into the film and my first viewing, I kind of want to ask the chat, what does Pixar and Toy Story mean to you? Let us know. We'd be curious to sort of see how our community feels about this. I mean, you guys obviously all have that nostalgia factor a little heavier than me. This is more of my nostalgia here, but I do have some Disney nostalgia. So I'm curious to see where the chat's coming from in this. And so Dom, with all that being said, because I felt it was important to get out there, I mean, unless you have anything else, we could, pop our DVDs in and
I'm ready to get this
Disney
thing.
Pluses, right?
I'm ready to get this thing. Well, I don't know about all you guys. I have like just I have a digital copy of the movie. I don't know about all you
Disney
guys.
Plus in. Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, Chris is, fun fact, Chris is using my Disney Plus because I've got digital copies for everything. So I don't know about you.
Elliott and I have the same steelbook.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to watch The Great Escape. I mean Prison Break. I mean Escape at Dannemora. I mean Toy Story 3. Let's do this, people.
Cool. So in 3, 2, 1, start your movie, everyone. We are in it. And Dom, I'm very glad I have a friend in you, man, because I would not be able to watch this film right now. Had you not given me your copy.
To make that joke.
Hey, I'm that guy. I gotta be that. You need that guy.
I know. Oh man, got that good old fashioned Disney. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but was this the first movie to use the new the 3D rotoscope Disney logo that we basically seen used in like every Disney movie since? Was this the first one?
I actually think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was for me too.
Yeah, because
I the classic right here.
Yeah,
the memes for this.
Very
one
classic.
funny.
Oh yeah.
I always recreated this Pixar logo when I was a kid.
Oh, dude, there's so many funny TikToks on that logo. Oh my god,
It's hilarious.
Chris, bringing up
So
the bane of Chris's existence. Yeah, I love this opening scene, little throwback to the original Toy Story. But it's so funny too because this opening scene, it's literally a shot-for-shot recreation of Andy just playing with his toys in that first Toy Story. But like, I don't know, is this that moment where you would call this homage or just like? Because this has become a running joke where I have to make every single Community reference I can. This is almost Community-esque where it's almost like, we're never going to be done with it. It's almost Community-esque.
Elliott, I'm sorry, dude. We didn't warn you. I know you've been through this a lot.
Love it.
It's just doing like a full-on like movie parody version of just Andy playing with his toys. And it's really, really funny.
They're all great montages. They're all,
Yep.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
I think, yeah, all three of these movies, they have like great opening montages of Andy just playing with the toys.
Mhm.
And I think all three
The
are like
fourth one-
different
The fourth
and
one hit me
unique.
hard, yeah.
Yeah, the fourth one, dude, the animation,
Yeah.
breathtaking.
They made Andy look totally different. Watch how Andy looked. Well,
Yeah.
not in this one, but in 2 and
Oh,
1.
yeah,
it
the
was
TNT.
different,
Mhm.
so.
I mean, this is
Boom.
beautiful right now.
Yeah.
This is basically Back
really
to the
good.
Future 3.
Pretty
Back to
much,
the Future
yeah.
3.
Oh, this is better than Back to the Future 3. Like with the troll dolls. With the troll dolls. Oh, it's so good. And then the aliens are driving a friggin' like that's a direct reference to 2.
Hey, do
Oh,
you guys want to
man.
hear something that you're going to be like, wow, this is super out of character for Chris, but is 100% true to my upbringing? There was this like Buzz Lightyear TV show. I
Oh,
watched
I remember that show.
every
I
episode of
remember
that
that
You're in
show.
Star Command?
multiple
Yep.
times. I love
Bro,
that show.
that was my show,
I
yes.
love that show.
That's a
Yeah.
good show. And Chris, knowing you, I would 100% believe that was the thing that was the thing that you watched as a
That's
kid.
my Toy Story.
Oh, did you guys catch that? Did you catch the number on the front of that
Yeah,
train?
What did
95.
it say?
Yeah, that was
95.
definitely a reference. Definitely a reference to
Jesse.
the first movie. I just like how they
Wow.
layer in each one of the classic toys. That's the thing I like too is that you know it's funny because obviously 1 and 4. 1 is very much Woody and Buzz's movie, even though it's called Toy Story, and 4 was basically all Woody and like a few of the new characters, but it was basically Woody's movie. But the thing that I love about 2 and 3 that helps make those movies so special is those truly are like the Toy Story movies. Those are the movies where you get more into like kind of like the thought process
Yeah.
behind the other
Oh,
toys.
breathtaking.
But this movie I think does a better job because even with 2, it's still a thing of where like the other toys are just kind of like going along to help save Andy. But this one is like each one of the toys has like a stake in this because like Andy's decision making here with him going to college really does affect all of them. And I think the movie does a great job. Like even with this establishing sequence of like layering in like how each of them are going to kind of deal with this massive change that comes from it. Oh, man.
Monster
These
Ham.
visuals, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nuts. Like
The
this whole
animation, you can automatically tell it's just better.
What's great is because Rex is like his character
How's he
isn't
doing?
the way he's portrayed to Andy as this terrifying Rex is like the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And then
the
Dr.
ham-
Evil
the
Pork Chop.
Hammobile.
Dr. Pork Chop.
Pork Chop. The evil Hammobile. And then classic Pixar alumni John Ratzenberger,
Yeah.
who's had a
John
voice in
Ratzenberger.
every single Pixar movie ever. Yeah.
Really?
I
Oh,
love
yeah,
that too.
the plastic monkeys.
Yep. I love that too, how they make like every
I love how Woody runs.
Oh
he
yeah.
runs so goofy.
It's like it feels like you're
I know,
watching
right?
a toy run.
Yeah, he runs like the Flash in Justice League.
Yeah. Like, you seen it, right?
This
Actually,
feels
yeah.
so Marvel opening
Right?
opening sequence.
But
and I
it's-
kind
to
of
me,
love it.
It's
Elliott's
way
probably
more
like, oh,
epic than
yeah.
most
Yeah.
of the Marvel opening sequences.
Yeah, it's just
And then like one of the greatest cartoons of ever. Like this is just nailed like how good Pixar is with comedy. Like it's ridiculous, but it's so
it
well
bounces
done.
off the. Oh, there we go.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here's the montage. Here we go.
Now we get
Oh yeah, from the trailers.
montage. Yep.
I'm about to cry already.
Anytime,
Yeah.
yeah, you got a friend in me just gets. Oh man.
And it sucks because even with Randy Newman having composed the song "Short People," his music it still hits you in the heartstrings.
Randy
every
Newman,
single
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard that song "Short People"? By the way,
Yeah.
why did something
yeah.
bad happen there?
Yeah.
Or did it
I'm
sound
pretty sure I mentioned exactly what the problem is with that song on here.
good? I know, but you talk fast sometimes.
Oh, I see how it is. I see how it is.
I'm just kidding.
This scene just like hits you in the guts because the thing about this movie too, obviously, is again it's 2 kind of had the advantage of kind of like looking forward and you seeing the foresight with having the foresight to just kind of ask the questions that kind of 1 never really brought up, which is that like what is going to happen when Andy grows up, like and with all these toys, you know? And this movie is the fulfillment of that, and it does like everything that it's supposed to, you know? And it's funny because that was the thing that like I know a lot of people brought up as like a detriment to this movie is that because like you kind of knew what was going to happen. I know a couple of people like Chris. Fun fact: I know that a couple of the people on Double Toasted are not huge fans of this movie. Like they think it's a good movie, but they don't like love it the way that we all do. And I just find that really interesting because it's like I feel like most people's opinion of this is that this is like a near perfect movie. So
I mean,
yeah,
I'm
I know some
assuming this
people that
was-
think it's overrated.
like,
Well,
I'm
how
not
was this well
disagreeing
received
with
when
that.
it first? When it first came out?
Almost universal acclaim until Frozen
They
came
got
out. This
nominated
was
for
the
best. They got
Best
nominated
Picture.
For Best Picture.
Yeah, it was the last
There you
animated
go.
movie to actually be nominated for Best Picture, not just
Mhm.
animated feature. And it was,
Wow.
and up until Frozen, it was the highest grossing animated movie of all time.
And
Yeah,
I'm assuming that they would never let an animation film win Best Picture.
No,
so just to be
absolutely
nominated
not.
is like a huge
Yeah,
honor.
3
in
have
and of
been
itself,
nominated.
right?
Yeah, only Beauty and the Beast, Up,
Beauty and the
and
Beast,
this movie
Up,
have been
yeah.
nominated.
Hence the TV nerd, guys. So at least I'm in the
Back to
ballpark
back for
with my guess.
Pixar.
Oh man. Even again, like this just shows how dated this movie is. This movie's 10 years old. They still had flip phones.
Flip phones.
They still had flip phones.
Yeah, was there a smartphone in Toy Story 4?
I don't even think they were.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
even remember.
Look, put it this way: that movie came out last year, and I
Yeah.
still remember stuff from all 3 of these first movies more than I do that last
Yep.
movie.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do I.
I don't know what that.
Forgettable.
For
I don't know
some
if that just
reason,
says.
Andy reminds me of Colin. With the
Okay.
shirt.
Oh,
with the
wow.
shirt. With the shirt.
I don't know. I don't know. Like that design reminds me of another character, but I
That
can't
looks like a shirt
put
Colin
my
would
finger
wear.
on who.
Yeah, I do wear a lot of plain. I either wear movie related shirts or just plain shirts.
But also, props to them bringing back the original voice actor of Andy. I believe that actor's name is John Morris. I think.
Yeah.
Props to them for that.
Wow, that's a nice touch.
Yeah. But also, like just looking at like Andy's room. Like,
I'm just searching for Easter eggs.
yeah.
I
You see, like,
forgot
the
to-
one, like you see the 1 star up there, like obviously with the Pixar ball, but yeah, like it's just crazy to see. Like
I
this
thought I
was the movie.
saw. I swear, I thought I saw Syndrome's robot somewhere on one of these.
Yeah, because obviously every Pixar movie is going to have references to their other Pixar movies. But yeah, like everyone always gives credit to like Clone Wars for maturing with its audience, and obviously Clone Wars is a great TV example. But like again, Pixar, just this trilogy alone, like deserves all the props for like maturing with its audience and just like just realizing like you're looking at these toys and like these toys feel older. You know, it's like it's crazy to think about that because like yeah, they're like for the most part like just pieces of plastic, but like they feel and act like a lot older. So it's kind of like I don't know that.
I'm sort of going back and forth in my head right now. Like, you know, as we all get older and stuff, and if you live at home, the longer you live at home, like you got to clean your room out, make room for the new stuff, out with the old stuff. But like there are those few toys that I still to this day have not thrown out.
Yep.
I tuck them in the
Same.
back of the closet, just like Andy does with his chest, and I'm like, I get where you're coming from, man.
Rest
You
in
can't quite
peace,
get rid of
Arlie
it yet. You
Yeah,
can't quite get rid of it yet.
R.I.P.
Yeah, like
Sanjay Garnery Hartman.
yeah.
Yep.
I forgot to mention earlier that one of the reasons I really like this movie is because like I kind of remember going through my like phase where I got rid of my toys because I was like super into like toys when I was younger. I played them a lot more than I should have. Like when I was when I was at a certain age, I shouldn't be playing with toys. I was still playing with toys, and I remember like I was like we were moving or something, and I remember I had to make that conscious decision. Like I'm not gonna, I can't pack this. Like I can't bring this with me, and I did keep my one. I kept my favorite, and it's still with me to this day. Like again, in my closet, shoved into the bottom of a box. But I don't think I'll ever get rid of it because it's just that memory piece.
Yeah,
Right.
everyone has to have that one toy.
Yeah.
man.
I think I still
Everyone has to have that
obviously
one
I
toy.
still have a few Harry Potter ones and lightsabers, but those are just like mostly collector's items. But I think I still. It's funny because a couple years ago, like I was so sad because I bought a bunch of Transformers toys to fill up my collection, and one day I'll buy them all back, but I had to sell them on eBay because like I needed money and they were like an easy way to make money, and it still kills me. But I still have a few left over. But yeah,
I kind of want to pose a quick question, and Elliot, we'll let you take it since I kind of almost just cut you off there. But I want to know, like, what is everyone's like? Is there one item from your childhood you just can't get rid of? And also in the chat as well. I think that'd be pretty funny as we sort of get into this movie here to set the tone of this conversation. You know?
Man, a toy. I mean, I grew up kind of in the Power Rangers era, so I have like my original like Jason, Tommy, you know, Kimberly, the whole set of like the different Power Rangers. And this isn't really necessarily a toy, but I've yet to get a throw away or give away or whatever my first PlayStation. In regards to just kind of things that you kind of stick on to. I have never played it in like 15 years, but those are just some things that kind of come to mind. I have a couple, you know, Star Wars toys, Chewbacca, you know, the X-Wings and the Millennium Falcon, but those are some that, you know, still at my grandma's house, you know, in my kind of chest bin that they're just collecting dust, but I'll never throw them away.
Love that, man. I still have my first PlayStation as well. I think that's gonna fetch a price one day. So if
Yeah.
you can't,
Keep it.
don't get rid of that. But
Yeah.
what about the rest of you guys? Ryan, what about you, man? You got anything in the closet that you just can't get rid of?
Well, I don't have any toys, unfortunately, that I kept from my childhood, but maybe some small little things like I think I did have one of my lunch boxes I had in elementary school somewhere. But yeah, nothing really that important. But yeah, there probably is some small like baseball mitts I had when I played baseball when I was younger. But that's all I can think of, really.
That's cool. I guess
Quick
maybe.
question to the panel. Just curious. Do we ever know what happened to Annie's dad?
Nope, it's never once
Never once brought up.
Okay.
never once bring it up. Also, just crazy again, like just for weird retrospective. So this movie came out in 2010. That means that Andy's probably like 30 now, or
Right,
mid 30s, and Molly's probably like just graduating, like it's probably like almost like about to graduate
High school.
college, college. Well, you got to assume that she's like, I'd assume that she's like probably like 12, 13 at this point, right? Which would give her like only another like 6 years before she graduates high school, and that was this movie's. It's been 10 years, so yeah, she's probably like already done with college by this point.
Crazy.
There was a part earlier in the film when the toys were talking about kind of what the game plan is, and I think that was a really underrated moment where they're like, "Oh, like get the we might have to prepare for the attic, pack some extra batteries, like oh, there's Christmas decorations. We like them." They're like, "Nah, like I don't like." There's some really cool like just little moments there where they kind of dive into their personality even a little bit more. With just the world of you're a toy, so now we have to live in an attic, so we have to be prepared for that. And it's somehow I'm able to relate to that for some reason.
But also just from a shot composition standpoint, like that's the thing. Like obviously, people always write it off because they're animated movies. They're like, oh, what shot composition in an animated movie, But it's like just the brief, quiet moments. Like the wide shots of like just Andy sitting in that chair, just looking out at his room, and like the slow pullback. It's like there's so much. That seems
here's
like
the big moment right here.
Exactly. Like just like with
great
no
shot
dialogue at all. Like just this great brief moment of visual storytelling. And like it's stuff to me that like these animated movies do not get enough credit for.
Especially the classic music.
Yeah.
Look at Buzz's face.
Right.
I mean, he made the right choice. We all know so he would.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
Woody all day.
Yeah. Well, Woody's way older. Woody's definitely gonna get him like a much higher price if he ever has to sell it. But
I'm definitely Team Woody, but I was upset with how Buzz was treated in Toy Story 4, so I don't have the
exactly. That was my big issue.
Where they basically made him like just suffering. I'm like, okay, so is this like toy dementia?
In Toy Story 2, he has such a great arc. He's like basically the leader of this task force to find Woody, to rescue Woody, and then in 4, he's just a bumbling idiot. And it's like,
it's really sad.
And then 3, obviously, he's got a great parts.
Yeah, 3, he's got a great.
Yeah, they both got their arcs.
Mm-hmm.
In their movies.
I just wish I saw a little bit more.
Well, obviously, I mean, we'll cover this later once it gets to this part in the movie, but obviously, Spanish Buzz for the win.
Yeah.
Or El Bazo, or whatever we want to call him. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, here we go. The old dog is coming in.
Yes. Oh,
Buster.
this is so hilarious and so sad.
Look at that fur. Look at that fur too.
I know. Look at the animation.
And he's my god. Like,
man, even though this is
Buster.
just an animated dog, I hate seeing when dogs get old.
Right.
Man, just time passes, it makes you so
sad.
I know, right?
It's so sad.
Just the animation, I'm just blown
How
away.
good that dog looks. Like that looks like a real dog.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
you can even see
people,
like the paint like chipped on the like edge of the.
Guys, we're about to see Sid.
Yep, I was about to say reference number 13. Sid, who grew up and became a very productive garbage man. At the very least, he did
he
something
was
with
such
his
a
life.
psychopath. Oh,
Right?
man.
Yeah.
That's all coming back to me.
I
It's the one that I
had
was
no
like,
idea about this till
For,
last year.
for where he was going in life, blowing up things and being such a psychopath.
Right?
Garbage man's not a bad.
Yeah, it's an honest
Yeah,
job.
I
It's an
literally
honest
had
job.
no idea about
I
this
I mean,
till
look,
last year.
He has
that's a pretty
benefits.
good job if you want to hide bodies. So I don't
Yeah.
think that, can't wipe away his, what he does.
Well,
after
Elliott going for the
off to work,
subtext,
yeah.
man. I was just thinking he wanted benefits. You know,
Yeah.
he got the full pension.
Yeah, man.
Right now. Look at him right now. He's just
Yeah, right.
rocking
And
out.
then
Well,
I
he's just
never
chilling.
noticed the
He's having a
Punisher.
great time. He's loving life right now.
Oh my god.
Oh, this scene.
That's such a great
And this is another thing that these movies did too, specifically this movie, but also that these movies did. It's obviously like foreshadowing and using like death as like a joke perchance. It's like, oh wow, it's like look at how viciously these toys get destroyed. But it's like kind of plays around with that idea where it's like, yeah, obviously you care about these toys, so look how awful it would be if they get died, and then you get reminded, oh wait, they are disposable pieces of plastic. But again, just that dichotomy is something that Pixar does really well.
Certain vids saying garbage man, I believe it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, like we said, it could have been worse.
Yeah. Yep. Reminds me of the Monsters Inc. scene where Sully thinks Boo goes into the trash.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. Now I love Monster Inc.
Which is still like one of the funniest sequences I've ever seen.
I think Monsters University is better than Monsters Inc. That's my hot take.
Which I highly disagree with.
Kick him out. Kick him out.
I think Monsters University is really bad.
And it's not because I don't like Monsters Inc. I love Monsters Inc. I just think Monsters University is criminally misunderstood. I
agree, and that is of all the Pixar sequels that I was not the biggest fan of that came out this decade. Monsters University was the one that I was like, okay, this movie's. I didn't love it, but I also was like, yeah, this movie could have been a lot worse. And I think if anything, it's another one of those movies that, weirdly enough, got better with age. Because if you think about it, that movie actually did something that was really, really impressive, which is that it was like it basically told kids, yeah, it's okay that like not everyone has to go to college, which is insane when you think about the fact that came from a Disney produced animated movie. Like just the idea that they would do a movie that has that message is crazy.
I do love how Woody is just so true to his character, standing up for Andy right now.
Yeah, right.
After he kicked all the toys.
Woody has.
He has so many moments
in here.
Well, I think there's so many moments in the. It's kind of a gag a little bit and a little bit of a trope in these movies where Woody's constantly misunderstood by the rest of the gang. He's in constant situations where he's in misunderstandings.
Yep.
And it's really, it puts him in a pickle a little bit because he's, wants to be true to his friends and the rest of the toys, but then he's also.
Yes, his arc is fulfilled completely in 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Like the first one, they're against him, obviously. He's really jealous of Buzz. The second one, he's being kind of selfish when he doesn't want to go back with the crew. And so now he's like really fulfilled himself in this third one.
And obviously now we get introduced to Barbie, which will later give way to me to like one of the funniest subplots in this whole movie with the Barbie and Ken thing, which is the thing that I thought I was going to hate. Oh, man. Well, first off, Michael Keaton is a win 100% because he's like, in his like 2 seconds of screen time in the first Cars, he is like one of the funniest parts about that movie. And then in his scene, and then with his sequence, again, the whole Barbie Ken thing was something that I thought I was going to hate when I first saw this movie. And then it turned out to be like the funniest part about this movie. Like just the dress montage alone was amazing.
So before we get into this next scene, I just want to let anyone know who has joined us recently that we are just about 19 and a half minutes in, almost 20 minutes into this watch along. So if you're looking for a timestamp, there you go. Also, Colin in the chat, certain vids, he agrees with you, man. Monsters Inc. It's not as good as Monsters University. So what do you
Monsters
know?
University, I think I just found the relationship between Mike and Sully more compelling than I did in Monsters Inc. because they're kind of bickering the whole movie in Monsters Inc. and they separate. And Monsters University, you see it start from bickering and grow to a friendship, and I just love that arc.
Yeah.
And, I felt it was unneeded.
I think people think it's a safe movie, so therefore they don't like it. Just because it's a safe Pixar film doesn't mean it's not great.
I don't think it's safe. That's the thing. Like I wouldn't agree with
it's
that.
Unneeded. It's unneeded. That's one.
We got to welcome Guy at the Movies to the chat. Joe,
yeah, Joe. Glad you're able to pop in, brother.
Next Thursday night, Dom and I will be over on Joe's channel watching.
Oh yeah,
Fantastic
get ready
Four.
for us to roast Josh Trank.
Yep.
Why couldn't we do a watch?
About it.
Why couldn't we do a watch along to Fan 4 Stick? It's on Disney Plus now.
Oh yeah, don't remind me.
I think that you guys are doing. Aren't you guys doing a Fan 4 Stick reviews or watch along too with Guy at the Movies?
There's lots of the best Pixar.
Yeah. Up there.
Yeah,
I had to.
Villain, yeah.
I don't know. I still think Christopher Plummer from Up does not get the credit that he deserves. That guy's terrifying. But
Charles Muntz.
Yes,
Yeah,
but also because
film.
like Christopher Plummer can make anybody sound terrifying because it's Christopher Plummer. But
I just want to make sure we're on the same track. Did they just get out of the box?
They just got out and
Yeah.
fell out of the box and are now being greeted
Okay.
by the toys at Sunny's side.
New toys.
Yep, we're
That is
21, and a,
great.
21 and a half minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By
a
the
couple
way,
different voice
I popped
performances
out.
going on here. Fun fact that octopus is voiced by Whoopi Goldberg.
Sorry, Ankit.
No, it's all good. All good. Let
That's
me
the
know.
toy I wanted right there.
What the
The bug with the
butterfly mutant?
muscles.
Yeah.
I wanted that one.
Yeah, of course, the claw, and then of course, to
Welcome
me, like
to
the
Sunnyside,
very
folks.
underrated voice performance, the great
Ned Beatty.
Beatty as
Yeah.
Lotso. Oh man, you want to talk
Intimidating.
about To me, like it's so funny because like I never in a million years did I think that the worthy follow up of that guy's most villainous, scumbaggiest monologue in Network would be in Toy Story 3, but nevertheless, it is.
Mhm.
Oh man, just like you just get enraptured by this guy. It's like this pink strawberry.
I love how he's got
scented
like
bear.
I love how he's got like a little like cane.
The
or
hammer is like
whatever.
the cane. He's got that
Yeah, he's
southern
got
drawl.
that.
As if toys get so old. Like,
Yeah, and it
very-
doesn't look like a villain.
It's very Don Johnson from Django Unchained esque.
Mhm.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and just like the way he's explaining everything, and like he's so enraptures you, like like it does legitimately make it like a little bit of a twist when he becomes a villain. But again, it's strange. So this is actually something I wanted to pose to the group. So do you think that obviously with the twist with the Prospector from 2 kind of made Lotso's twist predictable, or no? You still think that it worked?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I didn't see anything
Prospector-
coming when I was little.
I
so
think the
I'm-
Prospector was like he was kind of resonant. Like you could see why he was doing what he did. He just wanted to
Right.
go back to the story. But this one, I did not see coming. But you understand why lots of
Yeah, absolutely. And like Pixar is
Yeah.
always great with doing.
Oh,
Oh, here we
there's
go.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton is
Keaton.
Ken. Oh my god!
Look at how he's walking and look at his outfit.
I know.
Right?
Is it just
Oh,
me,
it's
or
so-
do you guys also kind of think Owen Wilson could have given a good Ken performance?
No, 100% no. But
No,
because
this
Owen
is
Wilson
Michael.
would have made him just like really dumb and casual, and we're like, wow, look at
Yeah, I
that
guess that's true.
Barbie. No, but Michael Keaton sells us 100%. Like Michael Keaton, if you think about Michael Keaton, he's the type of actor that is so unassuming that he
Okay.
always takes you by surprise when he gives like this ridiculous, rambunctious, over-the-top performance. Like you guys said, Vulture and Batman, and yeah, it's the same guy doing those. But leave me like the fact that he gave such an
Birdman.
introspective performance in Birdman. But to me, I also go back to him
Overrated.
playing in the same year, him playing the captain from the other guys, which is still like one of the most underrated comedic performances ever.
So I'll bite the bait.
founder.
Joe, at guy at the movie, said this reminds him of an episode of Community.
Yes,
Yeah.
I knew
What
I would get you to
episode,
do it
Joe?
eventually, Joe.
Community.
What episode, Joe? And Luck says, shh. Or sorry, look, but
Oh, and like the little toy repair station, like everything. Like, oh, I love how they're constantly able to find new ways to add new little bits to this world. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
And a
Ken's
whole room,
house.
and a whole room just for trying on clothes.
That whole sequence.
Only Michael
Those
Keaton can
houses-
sell a line like that.
Oh, we're gonna meet Big Baby now. Yes.
Oh boy, one of the most
Oh,
terrifying
God.
characters,
this is
I love that he's the muscle.
I feel bad for this.
right? Right, but still, like that he's the muscle of like their like lots of little like mafia prison
Look at this
crew.
dude.
Oh man, it's like so well, but he's horrifying that baby.
I know, right?
That's something Sid cooked
Watch
up
out
in
for
his
puddles.
bedroom.
You're right, Joe. First off, I am the Dom, and second of all, yes, I did go there because Community is the best sitcom ever made.
hashtag justice for Solo.
The sets are just great for this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh, I-
design, like the amount of detail that goes into each scene. It's like
Yeah.
those little bits and pieces.
Yeah, it's
And you
even
know, I
just
gotta
like
say-
the worn down paint on the stools.
hmm
Every single
is
one
one
of
of my
these
favorite telephone,
dollhouses and all these toys just reminds me of my childhood. Like every
Yeah.
of my female cousins had those elaborate dollhouses and the Barbie and Ken. I'm
I
just
had the phone too.
you did?
Yeah, I had that phone too.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's, and
see?
it's,
It's just so true to what we grew up with.
and it's so funny too because like it's even kind of more validating because like you see like all these toys that you like had, like you recognize every single one of those toys in there from like when you were a little kid that you play with, and then they all kind of like end up contributing in their own way to like their great escape at the end. So it almost kind of validates all those toys that you played with when you were a kid. So it's like, yes, I did. They were just distractions for me, so that my parents could actually get some break for me when I was growing up. They actually did have a purpose.
Well, this is why this is my favorite Toy Story movie because it's a completely new scenario. Like, we're in a daycare. You know what I mean?
That little smirk there. He's like, ah.
You guys have no idea.
It's almost like it's almost like you can feel him like pulling up a middle finger to them. It's like, you
Good
guys
luck.
are screwed. It's like,
I
you
wonder
guys
if
are
kids
so screwed.
watching this scene where they're just destroying toys. They
Woody
look at it
right
like,
here.
We need to treat our toys better.
He does not feel right about this.
Just like
They looked at that like we should. This is not good. That we need.
Nobody's Team Woody. I feel bad for Woody.
Yeah.
yeah, right. And Joe actually brought up a good point. Elliot, like,
I'm just
This is
watching.
like-
It's my first
yeah,
time watching
man.
it so long.
I get
I'm
it.
checking it out. It's been
I
so
get
long
it.
watching this
I'm
film.
enraptured by it.
Elliot,
That's
you know
from
I ask you this like once a watch along at this point, but where's your head at so far at this
No,
point?
it's
in
just
the
again. I'm
film?
trying to. I honestly don't even remember outside of like the end scene. A lot of this, subtext and all the kind of development of the story. So this is just kind of like almost a fresh rewatch in like 4 or 5 years for me. So
Yeah. I watch this movie pretty much every year. I watch all the Toy Story movies.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I gotta do a rewatch of all these movies. I rewatched. It's funny. My niece just turned 2, and I showed her the first Toy Story. She didn't really know what was going on, but she just enjoyed the pretty colors and the moving imagery. But like, it still like amazed me. I'm like, wow, this movie. I've seen this movie so many times since I was a kid, and it gets better every single time. Like I find new things to enjoy. But like the whole, I don't consider myself to be one of those people that like gets something new out of a movie, out of like every rewatch. I'm not the guy who does like constant rewatches of movies, but to me, the biggest rewatches for me is I do Lord of the Rings once a year, I do Harry Potter once a year. But there are a couple more movies that like every time I see them, I'm like, oh wow, no, these movies are really freaking great. And like every one of these Toy Story movies, I'm like, yeah, I get something new out of them every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back now and reacquaint myself with the first 2 movies. For sure.
It's such a polar opposite too from last week, because last week like we could not stop talking about like all the different dumb things that were happening in Jurassic World, but this movie is so good and we're just so enraptured and wrapped up in every single detail. It's like this is what to me like what films are supposed to do.
Oh, Bullseye.
Bullseye.
Stay.
Get out of here.
Scram.
Even Bullseye, who is the only toy that can't speak, gets so much to do, like so much characterization with just those little eye movements alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good time management in regards to like the ensemble and whatnot.
Yeah, just like good animation too. Like that's the thing. It's funny because I don't know how many of you guys watched Klaus last year that came out on Netflix.
Oh,
but
Klaus, really good.
great movie. Yeah. That movie, like I was cheering along with Sergio Pablos and the rest of his team when that movie got nominated over Frozen 2. Like I was beyond ecstatic. But the only thing that would have been better is if it had won.
So who's got the best form of falling like and acting like they're not alive? Who's got the best form? Just like
I mean, it's got to be Woody because he basically coined it.
Mm-hmm.
He basically coined it.
Woody.
he just collapses.
Like the great foreshadowing here with like how it's been the third act of this movie is basically going to become like the Great Escape. But like to finish up my point before, it was just a thing of where like I don't know, I forgot what I was going to say.
It's okay, we're watching a movie and having a full-blown conversation.
Yeah. Oh no, I remember now. So like, it's like thanks. That jogged my memory. So yeah, Sergio Pablos was talking about how because the whole thing of why Klaus felt so familiar is the fact that Sergio Pablos was an animator for Disney during the late era '90s. Like he helped on animation with movies like Hercules, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Tarzan, all those. Like pretty much every Disney movie that came out after Lion King. And yeah, Joe, pretty much. But yeah, so the thing that always impressed me is that he said that one of the reasons why he left Disney was the fact that with every one of their movies that they used to do, they would always add something new from the animation front. And that was something that Disney kind of stopped doing, but Pixar kind of ended up taking up that model. And I feel like, if anything, the kind of Pixar hit the end of that with this movie, kind of. Like, you had Inside Out after this, but it's a thing that I talked about a lot, where, like, every single Pixar movie that came out after this movie, with the exception of Inside Out, it just felt like they were going backwards, not forwards, you know?
Yeah.
We're about a half hour in. Half hour and 30 seconds. Just for
Do you guys
anyone who's
remember
curious.
I guess the live action version of this, Indian in the Cupboard? Did you guys ever see that film?
I watched.
I didn't
vaguely
get to check
remember-
that out.
I
You guys
vaguely
check that
remember
out.
watching like
Yeah.
10 minutes of that movie when I was in 3rd grade, and that's about it.
I never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, it's essentially just like this film. This is live action. The toys come to life.
Any good or?
No, it's really good in my opinion.
Directed by Frank Oz too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, this sequence was Oh, it's so good.
Mm.
Like, just every single scene in this movie is
Mission
so
Impossible.
it's like a joke a minute here. Like Mission Impossible,
Mission
references to
Impossible.
like the snake in my boot.
Elliot, what's that movie called? The live action Toy Story, you said?
Indian in the Cupboard is the name of it.
I just remember like that one scene where he actually chases the Indian into the cupboard. It's
Yeah.
I remember it. Like I remember the look of the kitchen, but that's it.
It's a good movie.
MCU. Look at the license plate. MCU.
Oh wow! Oh my God, you're right.
Oh,
That's nuts.
That's
Good
so cool.
catch.
I didn't even know that.
catch.
No.
Anybody else picking up on any Pixar Easter eggs? To, like,
I'm looking.
I'm not picking
I'm
up
not
on
good
any
at
others.
finding them.
I'm waiting for the 81131. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
I haven't heard of that one.
I've heard that one.
Yeah, it's the room number for where like majority of the Pixar animators, like apparently they're all
I
math,
heard that one.
like they're all like math graduates, and that's like the one room where they all study.
Look at the look.
Foreshadowing. They're like, oh no, something's definitely up, and they're all like going into hiding. They're like, oh no, time to hide. They're ready for the devils that are coming.
Rest
to
in
destroy
peace,
us.
Rex.
Yeah, it's like run for it. Oh man, never
Actually-
before. And then they have like a little lightning flash there too. It's like,
I mean, it's so true though, dude. Kids are so
I know.
destructive.
little kid.
Yeah.
So destructive.
Oh my
That's
God.
the difference, though. Like that they're really showing.
I used to work at after school care, dude. They destroyed everything.
Oh
They
man.
destroyed literally everything.
Colin sees.
Colin's getting PTSD flashbacks right now.
Oh yeah.
Colin's the real
This
MVP.
isn't even a comedy. This is a horror.
No, this whole thing is a horror movie.
Yeah.
And the way he shot the close and
Yeah,
the
bro.
toys being forced to keep those expressions, like it just makes it even more like painful for us.
Look
Like
at
seeing
that.
them.
I
Right.
just got so much subtext out of that, like parents thinking like, "Oh my God, my kid does this," and us being like kids who grew up with it, who aren't quite parents yet, but you know, we're definitely older now, being like, "Yo, I grew up with those toys. Stop treating them like that." And then
Yeah.
little kids just being like, "Well, that's what I do for fun."
Just
Knock
like,
down
oh,
blocks.
to black.
It's really incredible how there's like just so many layers going on in this
Yeah.
film
Actually,
all
I
at the
did-
same time.
I did want to ask because some of you mentioned like you have young nieces.
Yeah.
Do kids still play with toys? I asked
My
my boss
niece-
this.
My niece
And,
plays with her toy whenever she comes over to my house. She has her. Our whole thing is we would always like have us kids reading at an early age. So she's got like her little kid books. She's got the big bin of animals. She's got a big bin of like Mr. Potato Head parts, and she's got her blocks that she loves.
That's good. Yeah, because I asked my boss and she said her kid doesn't like he like goes on the tablet or he just watches YouTube videos, and like that made me profoundly sad because I remember like playing with toys was like my everyday hobby,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
just
It's
can't
like-
imagine the creativity that's not there when you're not playing with toys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the thing is that it's just like there's just so much creativity that you can't get from like just being on a tablet. You know, like like obviously like the whole thing that my dad told me, and I never really kind of bought into this entirely, but like I understood where he was coming from with the idea that it's like that there's only so much stuff you can get from like just watching videos nonstop, you know? And it's like, and also it screws up your attention span too. That's the other thing. Like obviously like we made comments nonstop about how horrible everyone's attention span is now, but like I get like just the idea of like you need that sort of like creativity because that's what allows you to like focus in and hone and like develop those attention skills. And
Oh,
if, like, if
another
there
one.
aren't- Yep.
My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's the creature from My Neighbor
Yeah.
Totoro.
And also like just again like just with the voice acting, knocking
Yeah,
it out of the
Bonnie-
park, like all these kids, like Bonnie Hunt.
Wow, what the heck? That's wild. I would never expect to see something from Ghibli in here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but like Bonnie Hunt is there. What's it called former Bond actor. What's his name? Timothy Dalton as the prickly pants. Jeff Garlin as the unicorn. Kristen Schaal who I'll also know better known as what's her name? Sarah Lynn from BoJack Horseman is Trixie the Triceratops. No, they really knocked it out of the park voice
toys.
acting here.
Bonnie said of toys is I think kind of underrated little
Yeah,
character.
agreed.
Good voice
Mhm.
acting. as well.
Agreed.
Yeah, Bonnie.
Yeah.
She's so cute. I love how
Good.
how she looks.
Really cute.
Great.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
cute. They made her
Good payoff to like
Oh, that's good.
before toys finding a new home, and then back to their hell, and they just wake up. I feel like I just finished watching a Cronenberg movie here. They're just like following. They're just like so malformed.
I love the Slinky dog, man.
Right. Also,
That's
fun facts. Chris, I don't know if you knew this, but the rest of you guys probably already knew. Obviously, just the replacement that nobody noticed of the voice actor for Slinky, because the original voice actor from Slinky, Jim Varney, who voiced him in the first two, died before this one. But props to Blake Clark, who is very close friends with Jim Varney, and got his vocal patterns down to a T. Like when I was watching and listening to Slinky in this movie, I had no idea that it was a different guy voicing him this time around.
Yeah, I did not pick up on that. I mean, rest in peace to the legend. Wow.
Yeah, it's so subtle because like you wouldn't pick up on it, but it's like it's very subtle differences, but like it's almost like beat for beat the same thing. And then obviously now this scene with kind of them dawning and understanding, it's like, oh wow, this really is a prison.
Hashtag Woody was right.
Yep. For the first time ever in these movies, Woody was right. Again,
Speaking
very
of
satisfying.
Rest in peace to a legend, just rest in peace to Ian Holm, you know?
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, rip, you know.
Bilbo, Ash, his character's name from the Fifth
Bro, look
Element.
at his parkour from Buzz, man.
Right?
Parkour.
Like this is just like a
That's just
great.
He's so lucky too. He has stuff like that happen to him all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, just forgetting like the animation, how good it is. The action of this movie was really stepped up too.
Yeah, the action.
Oh, here's like the
Yeah, you feel like you're in
the group.
Yeah.
James Bond.
And I love how Ken
James
is like got like a
Bond
dark history to him too.
Right?
Sleazy behind the scenes.
Yeah, but it's also just like going out of his way. It's like, I'm not a girl's toy.
Yeah.
That's up there with
Come
it.
on, Romeo. Come on, Romeo.
Yeah, right. He's got like the John Travolta Saturday Night Fever dress code going there.
I love it. I think it's fucking awesome.
Oh, this
hilarious.
movie is great. This movie does Mission Impossible, Shawshank, and The Great Escape
Mixed
all
with
in
The
one
Godfather.
movie. Right? I mean, I christen this more as like a Scorsese-esque gangster
Or
scene.
The Departed.
Yeah, Departed, very much so. But like this scene was great.
Great
They're all just
lighting. I
sitting
mean,
around playing poker.
it's
got, like-
animated, but just great lighting. This is
It's very
incredible.
impressive.
Yeah, we don't know what goes on in those vending machines at night.
No.
Yeah, right? No wonder we can never get anything out of them.
No.
That's the next Pixar movie's vending machines.
Right?
Or
Like
the
the
animated
entirely
short.
inside a vending machine.
It could be a
The
Pixar
one
short.
snack that dares
I
to
bought
venture
them
is like,
candy bar,
I
damn
don't
it.
want to get stuck in I don't want to
Only
get stuck in the
Pixar.
cracks.
Only Pixar can make a short
Yeah.
like this work.
Screw a short. I want to see a whole movie about like vending machine snacks that come to life and want to escape into the real world.
Yeah.
No, that's called Sausage Party.
They're gambling
Oh,
in the
God,
vending
Sausage
machine.
Party.
Oh,
Sausage
my
Party is
God.
It's so
Sausage
bad.
Party's
That
whole
movie.
gimmick. Sausage Party's whole gimmick is that, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did a Pixar movie, but they just said the F-bomb and made a bunch of sex jokes 1.5 million times?
Well,
That
no,
was
no,
like
it
Ocean's
had,
8
it
right
had
here.
messages about
Or
like
Ocean's
believing
11.
in God, even though you don't know that they actually exist.
Yeah,
and
what's
stuff.
up?
It was
Pretty
just
deep.
painfully unfunny. Painfully unfunny.
Yeah.
I think
that
Sausage
movie
Party
was such a letdown.
is a confused film, but I also think it gets a little bit of a bad rep. I do like some of the performances.
Yeah, I still think that like some of them, like I do think that Ed Norton doing like the Woody Allen impression as like the Sammy Bagel Jr. was actually, I thought that was actually pretty funny. But other than that, yeah, like a lot of the problem also is that half the funniest reveals in that movie got spoiled by the trailer.
Yeah.
That is very true. I feel like that's happened with a lot of Seth Rogen's most
Yep.
recent films.
Yep. Oh, and then the
Oh,
first
man.
reveal is
There
just
it
how
is.
terrifying Baby is.
Oh, they're holding him down,
Yeah.
shaking him down.
They're like turned into like henchmen. They're like, take him to the library. Never once before would I think of libraries being threatening. Ooh, conspiracy theory. Do you think this is the movie that secretly inspired like and kind of created like the negative stigma on the internet that like, oh, how lame reading is? Could have started
No,
with this
I
movie.
think that's been around.
Yeah. I thought reading was
Way
lame when I was a
longer.
kid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what
I
I'm
really
saying.
was the outlier, I guess, then, because I always loved reading
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
Nerd.
Dom, what's your favorite video game?
Exactly.
Exactly.
You didn't
But
need
hey,
to
you know
repeat
what?
that.
You know what? I wish I read more and played
Yeah.
less video games.
Everyone else
Did everything
read
else
video
like
game,
stuff.
played their video games, and I had my books, and
Yeah.
I don't regret a single minute of it.
So, did anyone have the like little star?
Hey, who's
projector lantern?
Yidna? I love that.
Oh,
Who's
what?
Yidna?
Did anyone have the star projector thing? Because I mean, it's so
No.
cool, but I've never seen anyone who actually
I
had it.
haven't.
No. No, I don't know.
Oh,
It's always been in Toy
complete.
Story.
No, I just have Baby Yoda to protect me.
So do
Oh
I.
God, the interrogation with the light right in his face. Oh man.
Ken, man.
But
He's like, but I'm Batman.
Batman.
How did they not make one Batman joke in this whole movie, too? I'm actually kind of shocked,
Probably
but at
like
the same time,
copyright issues with Warner Brothers
yeah, good
suing
point.
the heck out of them.
Props to Pixar, man. Props to Pixar. We're going full on gangster.
Also, like, good on them for, like, again, just, like, making lots of, like, again, just subverting expectations every chance they get, where it's like, guys, why did you tie him up? And then it turns out that he's, like, is secretly evil.
We
Well, that's-
respectfully
yeah.
request.
Yes,
to do
we're
the
at it.
bottom five,
Yep. And they're like, what?
Well, that's what we talked about earlier about appealing to adults, right? Like, all of us get the references because we've seen the movie.
Yep. Like, a head of security. And then he's like, well, what about my friends? I'm like, oh, well, they got to say. And he's like, well, then I'm going back with them. He's like,
Another thing I
well,
love about these movies is like the previous two didn't really have a distinct villain. The three right out of the gate shows lots of a villain.
Yeah,
Easy.
because the whole
Villain.
because the whole
Villain.
thing with two is a last minute twist where you don't see the prospect. Of
Yeah,
a
and
villain
the fourth
coming
one
back.
too. Fourth one too.
The fourth one I think actually
What was
had a
her
really
name?
clever
What was her
twist
name
to it,
again?
though, with the Christina Hendricks. I don't remember her character's name, but
Yeah, the first one was definitely Sid, but in a certain sense, it was kind of Buzz in the beginning because he's just an antagonist to Woody. And then Sid is he's not really a villain, he's just like a douche that you're trying to like.
Yeah, the
like,
fourth
yeah.
one. She just wanted an owner. That's all.
Was,
yeah,
Gabby.
and again, like that's why I think the twist with the villain was
Gabby, that's
clever.
her name.
Gabby, yeah.
That's
She
right.
just wanted an owner.
And the second one
Underrated.
had Al from the toy barn too,
Yeah.
as well as the Prospector. And then this one, Lotso, it was
Yeah,
it's-
underrated.
Change to
He's
Spanish.
a mafia man. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Underrated voiceover performance too, also for Gabby from Mad Men's Christina Hendricks.
Mhm.
Ironically enough, probably like the other second best performance that she's given besides Mad Men, because Christina Hendricks has not been good in a lot of things.
Oh, he's not getting returned to Spanish. He's getting to
Oh yeah, it's a demo.
Demo.
demo. Yeah.
mode. Evil Buzz.
Evil Buzz.
They're playing dominoes. I love that.
Oh,
It's like-
Dominoes.
All these little, like every little bit and reference, like
Colin.
the introduction of
What?
the.
What'd you say, Ryan?
No, I just see Andy and you, Colin.
So he's just gonna say that every time he sees Andy.
Colin.
We're 44 minutes into this film. Anyway, everyone who's just wondering, and Ron's here. What's up, Ron?
Ron,
Thanks for
what's up,
joining us, man. Yeah, this is. I mean, it's. I'd say it's like a modern classic because
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
for me, 10 years is. But with how well this was received, you know, and even though I'm not the biggest fan, I definitely still respect it and see it for that. But we're just happy to have you here, Ron. We got to get you on one of these soon, man. It's been on my bucket list, and I just keep forgetting. But hit me up,
Look
man.
at that
We'd love to
tuxedo
have
too,
you on
man.
here.
It's looking good.
Yeah, he was.
Can I just say that Luke's talking in the third person tonight, and I absolutely love it. Luke has never needed
Yeah.
to choose for any film ever. Love that, man. A
He
true,
must take steroids.
yeah, exactly, a true trooper.
I mean,
True.
to that point, what was the last film you guys kind of get a little touchy-feely? When was the last time you guys cried in the film?
Not gonna lie, I rewatched Guardians 2 the other night, and that movie still gives me all the feels.
I hate that movie.
Me
It's
too.
gotta be Endgame.
Oh, in-game?
The movie I cried most recently. I mean, a decent amount. Of
Oh, most recently?
yeah, I saw Warrior.
Goodwill Hunting.
Oh, Warrior's great.
Yeah,
That
Warrior.
movie
Goodwill
was
Hunting.
incredible.
That movie
Yeah,
got
for,
me in my feels at the end when he's like, "Tommy, stop! Tommy, stop!"
Yeah, that was. And then he has to
I think for
break
me,
his
it's
arm.
gotta be Goodwill Hunting. It's not
Also a
Goodwill
great
Hunting.
movie. No,
For me,
Warrior
it
crushed
it probably also is Endgame. I was just crying, laughing, man.
Mhm.
Oh my god, Chris, I hate you.
Elliott, dude, I had to, man.
No,
Oh,
that dude, the
God.
portal sequence does get me.
I love that look.
Yeah.
Look, so
Yeah.
just get right here.
Right? Just the look on his face. That is like straight up. And he
That's
just,
evil mofo right there.
oh man.
Look is
Why? I
just
like-
an emotionless bastard sometimes. Hey man, look, I know there's a heart in there somewhere, dude, and god damn it, we'll find it here on this Toy Story 3 watch along.
Oh. And then how sad they look when they all get locked up.
I love this type of design for a prison.
Right?
Well, I
Right.
know Luke's
Yeah.
a big Cars fan, so maybe if we bash the Cars franchise, that might get to us.
Maybe.
I have a question.
I still
for you
stand
guys.
by. I think the first Cars is underrated.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I like the first Cars. I don't like. the sequel, but yeah.
I got a question for you guys. I've heard some people say, in particular Griffin Schiller, we've done some live streams together and stuff, but he says that Toy Story 3 is his least favorite because he thinks the emotional stuff is a little bit manipulative. Do you
Well,
think?
yeah, but that's the point. It's supposed to be manipulative because you're seeing the fulfillment of stuff that's been hyped up for 2 movies now. So,
But I think he just means it's not quite earned. I guess.
I disagree.
I definitely disagree with that. But I can kind of see what he's saying. Mm.
What do you mean by not quite earned?
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm a bit confused.
You know, what
as
does
well.
Griffin mean by not well?
I think he means just the sense that the emotional payoff in the movie was trying. I don't know. I guess trying to go for tears, and it maybe took some shortcuts and cut corners to do so.
So it felt a bit forced, in other words,
I guess.
to him. I mean, how do you feel about it, Colin?
No,
I
I
didn't
disagree.
feel that way.
I disagree.
I definitely did not feel that way.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
is
I
my
think-
favorite Toy Story movie, easily.
For not being the biggest Pixar guy, I feel like I may have an interesting perspective to offer in the sense that for someone who doesn't like a lot of these films, the Toy Story movies never seem to be contrived, forced, whatever word you want to label on that. They just kind of feel very natural, and I think even though this isn't my particular bag that I pull stuff out of to watch when I'm just chilling, I do appreciate them for that.
By the way, I can't stop thinking about Lotso. Just reminds me of Thanos now. He's a
Right?
giant big purple dude.
Right?
No.
He's going
Like
to get Infinity Stones
different
right now.
way, different kind of a villain, but yeah, like just with like the mannerisms, the way he lords
Yeah.
himself over everyone else. It's like, oh,
Hey,
I get
I
more
knew
of a
that's
gut.
why I wore these shirt, man. That's why I wore the
I
shirt.
get a more of a Gus feeling with Lotso.
Gus.
A Gus Fring feeling.
Oh, Gus. Fring,
Oh,
okay.
From Breaking
I was
Bad.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Breaking
I see that,
Bad.
but definitely like also again the first Toy Story movie to actually like make the use of Google Maps or whatever version of
Whatever
Maps this
program
is.
they're using, yeah.
It looks
I
better
don't
than the
know what the name of the
iPhone
program.
service.
Yeah, right.
Probably more accurate.
That's the one thing I'm not. Fun fact: I am planning on upgrading from Android.
Totoro.
Right. Yeah. Fun fact: I am finally planning on switching from Android to Apple, but I will say
Oh,
the one
man.
thing I'm not looking forward to is having to use Apple Maps because Apple Maps are
Well,
garbage.
guess
compared
what? You don't
Google
have
Maps.
to because the App
Yeah.
Store has a plethora of options for you to choose
Good
from.
point. I might have to download Google Maps if they have the option because I wonder how many.
Guess what, Dom? The Elite cell phone service does have the option to give you Google Maps.
Awesome.
Welcome.
That's what I like.
Welcome
That's
to
what
the
I
winning
like to
team,
hear.
buddy.
That's what I like
No.
to hear.
I dropped Apple for Android. I couldn't be happier.
Really? Why?
I was getting so sick and tired of Apple's ecosystem. Like everything you did had to be like you had to be part of the cult that is Apple. You know, like I couldn't even plug my phone into my computer without getting like update iTunes, download this. Have you considered this? And I was like, I'm so sick of it. And I have a Google Pixel now, and I am so happy.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is my phone is just the problem with Androids is they don't last as long. Like my phone's at like a 2-year maximum
Really?
capability before they just start getting laggy and they don't hold a charge. And every single time I upgrade, it's the same thing. And just for like the purpose of what I do now, like I do too much and I overload it. So
I don't know, man. I think you should maybe try a Google phone. Like I've had mine since 2017. And
oh wow.
like I do all my video recording for my 60-second reviews on my phone. And I've gone to 3 different countries, taken all my photography on this phone. Like it's solid.
Nice.
Don't listen.
What
to
if
them. Join the
Jesse
cult.
esque backstory for lots
what if that was Andy's mom?
Well, obviously you know the very famous Pixar theory that
No.
Jesse's-
What if Andy's mom was
yeah,
actually
Jesse's the
Lotso's
second.
owner? That'd be a
Okay.
great twist.
Can I just say that this is beautiful right now?
Yeah,
This is
it's
visually
so
stunning.
well done.
The sepia tone
I-
and everything. Yeah.
I love this character so much. This Lotso character.
Yeah.
He's just and the color grading and the flashback. This is perfect. So
It
far,
looks
I'm
like
thinking this is
Breaking
the
Bad.
perfect film.
Speaking
guys.
of Breaking Bad, it looked like Breaking Bad color palette.
Right? Right?
I know, right? The yellows.
True, very
Oh,
true.
and then
All
just
that
the look
heavy
of
feel.
him
He's
being
kinda like a
Lotso.
Lotso's from New Mexico. It's confirmed.
Yeah,
He's
right.
he's
And now he's
Also,
going to
major
go
props.
Do we know what state like any of these Pixar? Like, what is the Incredibles?
No, they never tell you.
They
never
never say it in the Toy Story movies ever.
Well, Incredibles I know has a bunch of like fictional cities in it, but like they
Yeah.
never once mentioned what state it's in.
And this was before. This is the rain too. But of course, in Toy Story 4 was even more unreal.
Mhm.
And we're gonna see the Pizza Planet truck.
What is
Yep,
the?
there's the
I
pizza.
guess-
Yo,
Hey,
I
what a
love
throwback.
what's painted on the back of those Pizza Planet trucks.
Anyone catch the license plate? Like, was it
like
Rev?
Rev
I don't know if that's the
153
same
now.
one from Toy Story
Yeah.
2 or not.
Mm.
Sunnyside.
I guess you
There's
really
no-
got to be vigilant
Once
with all
again,
these Easter
the
eggs,
rain,
don't you?
man. The rain is amazing.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3, finally a movie that actually knows how to use Dutch angles, unlike the first Thor.
Yeah,
Oh
kind
my
of
God.
Rona, take notes.
Just
The first Thor actually
Dutch
rewatched
angles for
Chuckles.
no reason.
Yeah, Dom, how much did we learn about Dutch angles at Duchess?
A lot.
Too much.
Mostly just
Oh,
understood how
God.
unnecessary they were. Yeah. Also,
And
props
all the
to
examples
Bud
were
Lucky.
such shit, but all we need to do is put on Toy Story 3, it seems.
Yep. But yeah.
Don't
Props
tell
to
Pat,
Bud
he'll be very
Lucky.
upset.
Props to Bud Lucky also, that voice actor who did the voice for that clown, Chuckles. Friggin' one scene and he like cements himself. Just like how morose and just like on point he is, but just like how depressed he is about like how far his friend Lotso has fallen.
Guys,
There's
I gotta
maybe even-
say, for this kind of being like my first time like sitting down and watching it through, and I'm just like, I feel it. This is a very well executed film, and it's even easy to focus on while like hosting a show. It's just the immersion. It's like I feel a little more checked out of the live stream tonight than I normally
Yeah,
do. I don't know.
let me just
Yeah.
say this.
It's,
Yeah.
'Cause it's that
My
immersive.
brother-
'Cause-
yeah.
So my brother, he's also a diehard Pixar fan, and we both agree this is the best made Toy Story movie, without a
might
doubt.
be. I still
Yeah.
think 2 is a little bit better, but
Yeah,
like
that's
this
my
is
favorite
still really freaking impressive.
Yeah.
Too, as a movie.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
loving
think-
this.
I don't think anything can be Toy Story 2's though, like the
Yeah.
airport carousel
Yeah, right.
sequence, man, that blew my
that's a-
mind as a kid.
Yeah,
That's
Toy
a
Story 2 is
cliche-
funny.
That's a cliche
Also-
in movies, the airport sequence, and I think that's the best one to do it.
Yeah, and also
Yeah,
just
even
the-
though we're Civil War. Even though we're Civil War.
and the sequence in Al's Toy Barn when and the Jurassic Park reference there, like they
Yeah.
stuck in a Jurassic Park reference every chance they had, and it was always funny.
Yeah, it's just so rewatchable.
Yeah.
the second one.
Also, you want to talk about another R.I.P. Don Rickles too.
Yeah, Don Rickles. Rest in
Yeah.
peace.
Damn.
Yeah.
man.
No wonder they barely had him speak in the last one because
Ron, are you not a fan of Toy Story 3? Are you upset that it gained another fan in me tonight? I want to know, man. And Look says Thor broke his neck, which
Woody's back. Woody's back to get his friend. It's also crazy. Like it feels like so much time has passed since Woody's been here, but it really hasn't been that much. It's only been like 15, 20 minutes, not even.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Probably.
great pacing.
Yeah, really good pace. Like this movie's an hour. This movie's not even an hour 45. This movie's an hour 42.
And
And
I
We're
like,
just
already at
wanna, like,
54 minutes. The pace
Yeah.
is really good.
Yeah,
how would you
really
talk
good
about
pacing.
this? Because it's obviously an animated film, but I'm loving the set design. Like I forget who said it, but the prison is just so creative and
Yeah.
so true to form.
That's me. I said
and-
The
that.
detail
Yeah,
is
the
put into
prison
the
is
animation.
so well
Like-
detailed. Like
It's
all
very
the
impressive.
sets. All the sets in this movie are really unique. and
It
well-
really
Well-
kills me that the Oscars got rid of the best art design category because like movies like this would be like front
Yeah.
runners for that shit.
Yes.
Well, the thing is I felt like Pixar
damn.
especially at this point kept like challenging themselves, like what's the next thing that we can do?
Right,
And
exactly.
new scenarios, like double down on what we in not getting comfortable. Like you said, someone said earlier, about like Disney sometimes, especially with like the hand-drawn animation, just kind of felt a little bit formulaic and it's beautiful and stuff, but it kind of stopped, evolving and bringing in something with so much detail. Got a daycare with like colors and whatnot. And for the news,
Also-
that's pretty crazy.
With the telephone just being like the oldest toy
Yes.
at Sunnyside, and they're just like they cracked down hard since you left. It's like giving like that old school like prison motto voice.
And yeah, he sees he made a mistake here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I love
There's
that.
only one way.
I felt bad
There's
for
only
the phone.
one way out.
The phone.
I love that. It's so good. Like way to actually utilize old school movie cliches in an interesting and funny way.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's like from one old toy to another.
And-
I love that. Just like kind of like that sense of camaraderie. It's like, look, all us toys have gone through these lives. We spent all our lives trying to dedicate and make these kids happy, and then we just get abandoned. It's kind of up to us as to how we take
guys. We gotta go to the monkey now.
that. Yes. time for this movie to become the Great Escape. And it's a better Great Escape movie than the actual movie, The Great Escape.
Part of this kind of reminds me of almost like Ocean's 11, where they kind of break down.
Oh, yeah, the
monkey.
There's also a sequence in Finding Nemo where they're explaining how to get out of here and like the whole process of how to escape. Very similar to this as well.
Yeah, right?
Oh, the monkey's so terrifying.
Oh my god, that thing is horrifying.
Shoot.
Oh, that poor bunny. And that bunny is so adorable too. When it tries all these toys to try to escape, they're so adorable. And then they keep getting caught.
He puts his hands up.
Yo,
Like,
I'd love to
don't
see
shoot.
like a game made for this. Where Toy Story 3
Oh,
just-
big time, yeah.
You have to try to escape.
Escape the
Right?
daycare.
Hmm.
Oh,
You remember when they used to like put out those like terrible games around like
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
like I remember there was a series of Unfortunate Events game that was just god awful.
Hmm.
I could see them like hitting one of these like for that, yeah. Great movie, bad game, you know? That's usually how it went.
Mhm.
Oh man, and they're all just so happy to see Woody.
Yeah, they would need them when they are facing.
There's hope.
Imminent doom.
But then when he's like got a
They
bright
look up
idea
to Woody
later
now.
on, they're like-
They look up
Yep.
to Woody now like he's Captain America.
They're so like hot and cold with him. It's like they get mad at him so easily, and then he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Woody, we need you.
Yeah.
When we need people to make decisions for us, we'll listen now."
Yeah, right.
Hey, so how much of the original voice cast was in the fourth one?
All of them.
Yeah.
Every single
Wow.
one of them, with the exception of
Everyone here.
Don Rickles. They had to use like voiceover from like previous movies because
Yeah, I
he was dead. But other than that, yeah, the entire voice cast came back for the fourth one.
Yeah, I was just curious because so much time passes. between
Yeah.
these films.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9-year difference. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, yeah, obviously Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, and Joan Cusack for those three, and then obviously, yeah, all the rest like Wallace Shawn, Blake Clark, John
John
Ratzenberger.
Ratzenberger.
I forgot Jeff Pigeon for the aliens, Estelle Harris, who was still alive by that point, and then Don Rickles they used on like a few lines that he had recorded but never got used, and then yeah, and then also like all the other toys that were introduced as Bonnie's toys for here, yeah. No, all the like I gotta admire the commitment for like all these voice actors too.
Yeah, that's
True.
crazy.
True.
And I thought the Clone Wars actors were dedicated.
Yeah, right. Oh, I love this. All the gags with Potato Head in this movie are amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, it's so good.
Classic. Yeah.
It's so
Look at
good.
Buzz. The baby's so freaking scary,
Right? That baby is
Yeah.
horrifying.
Yeah, most of the villains are horrifying.
The monkey's like,
Oh my, that monkey, man.
And the monkey, no, but it's smart how they do it too. Like
Yeah.
they keep him so distracted that he can't.
Dude.
that
The animation on that
it's-
monkey, it looks like they had a
Yeah.
puppet.
Yeah.
On the
it's,
set.
I know,
it's
right?
so smart how
That's
this
crazy.
movie does it. Like the
The
script,
animation.
this. I'm pretty sure this was this was the second to last Pixar movie, if I'm not mistaken, that got a screenplay nomination. Inside Out got original screenplay. This movie got adapted screenplay, and it 100% deserved it. Like, if not for The Social Network being in the same category, like this to me,
Wait,
is
why
like,
did this get adapted screenplay? Why
because
not?
they do that all the time with sequels. Whenever it's a sequel, regardless of how original it is, if it's a sequel, it
Was
automatically gets
Social
adapted.
Network original or adapted?
Social Network was adapted because it was based on a book. The book that it was
No.
based on was called The Accidental Billionaires.
Yeah, Social
It's
Network's
freaking
one of the greatest
cheap.
screenplays
Oh,
ever made.
Yeah, and then with the biggest, and then with the biggest,
It's not an accident,
and
billionaire.
then,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's an ironic title, but and then obviously the biggest insult that year of that Oscars is being that the King's Speech won over like every other good movie. The King's Speech
Yeah, did
won
you
original
see
screenplay over Inception, which I
Social
don't
Network, Toy
I
Story?
don't love Inception the way that everybody else does, but like that movie not winning original screenplay is ridiculous to me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, all these bits.
Yeah, Social Network's one of my favorite movies of all time. So is
Social Network is like
Social
the
Network,
movie
That is a
that-
great
Social
film.
Network
Past
is
decade.
one of the greatest screenplay written films
Yeah,
I've ever
Aaron
seen.
Sorkin is
Amazing.
Greatest,
Yeah.
I think that's the greatest script ever written, in my opinion.
I don't know if
Dude,
it's my favorite, but it's definitely one of the best ones. That I've
One
ever
of
seen.
the best
But
written
I
screenplays
give
ever.
just as much credit to Fincher because Sorkin has said alone that the stuff that Fincher did with him with directing that movie is like what gave him the confidence. It's
This
just,
monkey, man.
Oh, this bit, it's so good.
Hey, the symbols, this is great.
Like it's all the eyes too. Like look at those eyes. Those are the most insane like looking eyes that I've ever seen.
Yeah, this thing is like I'd have nightmares if I was Flash.
traumatic.
I would certainly have
love how
nightmares.
Oh my god, with the zoom in with the eyes. And then
We don't see
oh
what
my
happens.
god,
This
I
is
love
where the
this
magic
bit.
Oh
happens.
yeah,
Right.
one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Oh, it's so good. And then how my god, the montage that comes in here is
Kung Fu Ken.
unbelievable.
I love the hippie suit. Nice.
The hippie suit. And then he's just like, no one else understands.
It'd be funny if there was a Batman suit in there.
Right?
He's like
That's what I
Ted
mean.
Bundy.
Missed opportunity.
Where's the Batman suit?
Missed opportunity. Aw, freak out.
Wow.
Oh, it's so good.
Batman, where's the
God.
Batman suit? Come
So
on.
good.
That moonwalk.
Oh, the moonwalk.
Oh my god.
Yo, I'm loving this film, guys.
Right?
This is,
No,
this is amazing.
This is a
This
perfect
is
movie.
just yeah.
I
This
know,
is
right?
a
This is
great
a
movie.
perfect movie, but there's not a single part of this movie that I don't like.
This is great family fun right here. I can see. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's just
I
a
certainly get it.
well-made movie.
Don, we may have to do something on the fourth one, man. I'm
I don't know
loving
about well the fourth one.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
mixed
fourth-
reviews?
If anything, it's gonna make the. No, I'm just saying. Like, and I like the fourth one too a lot more than I thought.
Yeah,
But if
I
anything,
like the
this
fourth
just
one.
rewatching this movie is just gonna make the fourth one seem so much worse in comparison.
Oh God. Okay. I
Yeah,
got
I like
Yeah.
4, but I think it was a little
I
bit-
like four, but again, it's like with a lowercase L, and also it's like compared to it's like I said, I'm like that movie was always gonna be the worst Toy Story movie by default.
So in other words, it's not bad because they've established a bar of quality, but
Correct.
it's not the same magic.
But it's that same bar of quality that kind of wrecks it because obviously it's never going to measure up to like having like the same bar of quality because obviously just because Pixar also is just like in a different place than what's it called than
True.
like it was here,
Throwback to our podcast with Colin
right?
about Onward.
Oh, that part was great.
Yeah, that was a fun
Treasure
chat.
Break. That was hilarious.
What did
Oh,
she just throw into
tortilla.
there?
This is hilarious.
Tortilla.
Oh, with the tortilla,
Tortilla.
Mr. Tortilla
This is
Head.
So,
Oh my God.
This might be my favorite part of the whole movie. honestly.
It's
Wow.
every single sequence of how this breakout
There's
is
not one
staged
bad
is
scene in this
amazing.
It really
Yeah.
isn't, right?
So
There's not a single bad scene in this movie.
And they poke through the tortilla, and that looks
Yeah.
so realistic.
Yeah.
too. Like, it looks like it's
And the
actual.
animation again on this tortilla.
Not me.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Oh, it's so good. And you know, they even like kind of like slightly adjusted the color of his eyes too, like his eyelids in order to like match the tortilla more. Like the nose, like the color is muted a little bit.
You know, like a good zombie film establishes the rules and show don't tell. We just had a great establishment of the rules of Mr. Potato Head right there.
Oh, the scene is.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this too. It's like, talk. Also, another fun fact: speaking of Disney princesses, the voice actress for Barbie, Jodie Benson, the voice actress for Ariel from Little Mermaid.
Wow.
Jodie Benson.
Yep. Underrated voice performance.
No, there's the key, dude. They just this Prison Break is
Oh,
just
it's so
iconic.
well done.
Very good.
This rivals the Ocean's movies in terms of like great, just like staging and like execution of said action sequence.
Yeah, another great prison escape sequence, War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
And
Really great.
even though if anything, like it's kind of crazy to say, but like War for the Planet of the Apes, I'd argue is more kind of like a Holocaust movie than anything
I
else.
don't think anybody expected
Right?
that to be like a prison
Right?
breakout.
No, but also it's like that movie's also like for that being like a big budget. That's like one of the most miserable big budget movies I've ever sat through. Like that's one of those movies I'm like, wow, like this movie is good, but like I don't know if I want to watch this again. Just how depressing.
Yeah, compared to
movie
that,
is.
it's not rewatchable.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, that movie I can rewatch 100,000 times. But
Absolutely.
Or I'm like, I don't know. This movie's
They get
really sad.
They're gonna paddle the.
Oh yeah, this is so bad. Like how tearing up the clothes is visibly hurting him.
Sequence attack.
Oh my god, it's okay. He's like, oh no, and he starts like describing it specifically.
1967.
She starts ripping his clothes.
does
No,
anyone
no,
know if those
no.
are actual lines that the Ken doll had? Because
I don't know, but
Is that
regardless
right?
of what it is, I kind of hope that it's improv, but at the same time, those lines are too clever to be improv.
Yeah. I just love how every character has like importance.
Yeah.
Even like the smaller ones that
librarian.
are more for exactly.
Also, fun fact: the voice actor for that librarian, Richard Kind, the voice of Bing Bong from. He's just the heel that doesn't even blink. He doesn't even blink. He's just like whatever. Probably the new fashion trend. Early LGBTQ recognition, perhaps, on Pixar's part.
Was Bo Peep? Was she not in 2, or was she in? Only
No, Bo Peep was in 2. Bo Peep was in 2.
She's done in 3.
How did they?
Yeah.
Did they just give a throwaway line in this?
They
movie?
gave a throwaway
Oh,
line
bro.
that basically just said, she got given away along with a bunch of other.
And then 4 pays it off. 4 pays
Yeah.
it off.
That's
Yeah.
interesting that they only like. I was wondering if they did that with the intention that they would do something with the Bo Peep character.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love this, but
I wasn't even the biggest fan of Bo Peep. Like, she was so lame in the first 2, and then she
but
becomes
then
so
she
much
became like
cooler
a
in the fourth.
badass.
4
in the
was
fourth
great.
one.
Yeah, in the 4th one.
Like, she's honestly a completely different character in 4.
And
Yeah.
Andy Potts too, who finally got a chance to shine in that part.
No one can
We
hear you.
can't hear you. Oh, this is one of those jokes that, like, I feel like it could get lame because it's been used in so many different movies, but in here it's actually well done.
Star Command, I've been taken hostage by my.
I love that.
Oh,
And
they're
now
pretty. Yeah.
Spanish Buzz.
Yes, the introduction of Spanish Buzz. Again, this is one of those jokes that, like, you wouldn't think would work, but oh
Now,
man,
this is the Buzz
so
we all
90s.
wanted in
Right?
4.
oh my
we
god,
all
this
wanted
Buzz.
it for.
Just keep him a Spanish Buzz. I like how it, like, he
Do they
becomes like
even-
Charming Jesse.
Do they even put little holes on things anymore? Like, I remember he used to do that to reset everything back in the day, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, That
Dude,
was-
I wonder if this in today's culture, if this would be considered racist. This whole
I don't know.
if he was being, overly like Spanish, okay, now he's gonna, instead of just
I will
talking
say-
Spanish, he's gonna act
This-
Spanish. I wonder if he'll get canceled
I
for
see
that.
what you mean.
Missed opportunity
Yeah.
not having Antonio Banderas voice Spanish Buzz. I will just say that. Like the kissing on both cheeks. They just have no idea what to expect. Oh man.
Excelente.
Yeah.
Good luck, Cal.
Good luck.
Good luck, cowboy.
I think
Oh,
this
man.
is so innocent in its nature, though.
It
that
is. Yeah.
As a first-time watcher,
I love. Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's doing things in a stereotypical
Very-
Spanish way,
Right.
like where he's like over the top, and I just wonder if people will get offended by that. Just
Oh my god. This is a slow motion tattoo.
Hey,
Oh my
Buzz.
god. It's so
Went to
funny
Surf
too, like
Flower.
Look doesn't care for Spanish Buzz.
I will say it's funny how, and we haven't talked a lot about Jessie too, how like she kind of like just becomes part of an ensemble after like having such a strong presence in that second movie. But it's so funny like how, oh boy,
Cucumber.
Cucumber.
Yeah, if there
head.
was one character,
It's Veggie Tales.
Right?
Oh,
They finally found a way to bring VeggieTales into the mainstream,
oh my god, I forgot all about that.
right?
Holy
Yeah.
shit, I just got yelled at by my parents on the car at home all over again, Colin. That's
He
crazy,
got a
man.
Studio Ghibli reference in a
I
vegetable.
hated.
Wow. Jesus. Yeah, Jessie seems a little underutilized in this film, but
Yeah, but what I was
She's
going to say
still
is
important.
Oh, she's even more underutilized in the 4th one.
All of them are
Guys, no, it really
underutilized
hyped me
except
up on
for
this
Woody and
fourth
Bo Peep.
yeah, no, well because it's not
Sorry, what
something to
was
get
that?
hyped up on.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
But my bad. What was that, Colin? I didn't mean to.
I would say Woody and Bo Peep are the only ones that get really any
Yeah, because it's their movie.
development of the old
It's their
characters.
movie, yeah.
Yeah, and then Buzz is given a little bit to do, but then there's new characters that are given development, but then like
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I would
she's
argue.
typically
The problem is with my problem with the new characters is that unlike every one of the new characters that are introduced in any of these movies, all the new characters that are introduced are funny at first, but they always have a good like arc and a good like characteristic that sets them apart. And in Toy Story 4, that's when they started to just become like the joke characters. Like the minute that you see Key and Peele as a Duck and Bunny, you can predict every single joke that they're gonna make because it's Key and Peele, so they're just gonna have him like be funny. Although there was this one bit that is actually really funny, but again, gets spoiled in the trailers. And then with Keanu Reeves as the stuntman, that one works, but like What's his characteristic other than just being, hey, I'm Canadian, and I'm a stuntman, and my name's Duke Kaboom?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? What other characteristics does
Well,
he
the rest of
actually
the characters are just sitting in the RV, kind of just
exactly,
waiting for things to
and that's
happen.
my problem.
Forky too.
Yeah.
Forky
To
at
me,
least
the only character, and not even Forky, but the only new character that's introduced in that fourth movie that actually has something to do is the Gabby Gabby doll. She's the only one.
Gabby.
Okay, Colin, can I redact my statement about it not being a little racist earlier? It's kind of going on a little long now.
It's
I gotta say.
it's
The
a-
dancing was a
He's
little
really
much.
counted as being. Here's the thing, though. Here's my counter proposal to that, though, is that I don't necessarily know if it's cultural appropriation because nobody really cares about cultural appropriation when it's European Spanish. So if it's European Spanish, then I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with it. But because we as Americans are constantly cultured to think that, because they're speaking Spanish, that automatically means Hispanic, like Mexican, Latin American.
I feel like people would talk about that if it came out this year. Or
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
100%. But
they complain about
that could
They
not have
complain.
all have been the creator's intent with that. I'm just saying,
I
like,
don't
the fact that that's automatically where our mind goes to, like, I don't know what that
I
says
think-
about us.
Yeah, I think
It's
there's a
the
lot of
culture, like,
factors. Yes, exactly. I think there's just a lot of factors, and I think 10 years ago it was obviously innocent
Yeah.
fun. At least I'm assuming that was their intent. But Ryan, I think
Yes.
you're totally right. If this came out this year,
Everybody
God,
complains
cancel
about
Toy
the
Story.
whole- Yeah.
I personally don't think it's racist, but I could see why some people would get upset by it.
Yeah, I obviously said what I said in jest, but it was a little much at that point with the dancing.
Yeah, this gave me chills.
That moment when it's like, oh man, the best
Damn.
laid plans foiled,
How ruthless Lotso is.
right?
Pacing's so good in this film, dude. It's
So
just
good. Like, this movie is a brilliant exercise in pacing.
I'm like, geez, Pixar. Damn, you got
Oh.
beat up.
And the
I didn't
telephone,
expect any of this
the
in a
telephone-
Pixar movie.
The telephone kicked him up, and he's like, I'm sorry, cowboy.
This is like The Departed.
Right?
He's like Jack Nicholson in The
Seriously,
Departed.
that telephone. Props to that telephone. Oh man. I remember when I was a little kid and my barber would have those toys I would play with. I played with that exact same telephone.
You're a piece of plastic. I like
Oh man.
that. Piece of shit.
That line to me.
Oh man, that garbage truck.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh man, the way that it shot, like the distance with the ominous lighting and the
Making it look
shadows.
like this evil.
Look, this is incredible.
Yeah.
I
This
like,
movie is unbelievable.
who said the Thanos thing
Sure.
earlier? Because that is
That's a
I'm
very
feeling
accurate. Lotso's kind of more menacing than Thanos in some aspects.
he's more developed.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
Thanos is like kind of the hero.
Yeah.
Thanos is the hero. Thanos is the protagonist and antagonist of Infinity War. Like, that's not up for debate. That's a fact.
Thanos is really compassionate in Infinity War at certain points where he encounters Avengers and lets them live because he's not like the big picture of like his mission. Like he's like, oh, I don't want to kill you just because I want to just kill randomly.
Jordan.
For, some
Yeah.
more people have more
Yeah.
research. So he thinks he's like the hero of his own story. Lotso's definitely
But again, like, that's the whole thing, right? That's what makes compelling villains, is the fact that they all see themselves as heroes of their own story. But bringing it back to Thanos, if anything, it's that compassion that makes him so much more menacing, because he comes off, especially if you look at that scene specifically with him and Gamora, you look at that scene where he's just being like a kind of like trying to be this kindred spirit, this kindly father to her, and then he brings her to the other room with Nebula, and it's like, oh man, they never had a shot. Oh man, this scene,
I love when he just brings up Daisy.
right? It's like, what are you? It's like, what are you
It's like
talking
Martha.
about?
It's like
Feel like
Martha.
Woody's just
Don't-
like Captain
don't-
America
don't-
right here.
Movie by bringing up that.
Why did you
name.
say that name?
What did you say?
Oh my god,
Martha.
that one moment. Every single time I'm willing to give Batman vs Superman the benefit of the doubt. Every single time I'm reminded of that moment, I'm like, nope, that movie's bullshit.
Come on, Dom. You know you don't mean that.
I do, Chris, and don't you dare start with that again.
Why did you say
That just things
had
are
to,
long
Dom.
behind
I
us,
had
and you know that movie sucks.
I had to. I do know it sucks.
Oh man,
It sucks
What a
hard.
piece of shit.
Oh my god,
The one thing about Lotso is in talking about
his true
you know,
colors are revealed.
Thanos, he's just way more compelling than Thanos. With such
I don't know about
No,
that,
no,
but
I don't know about that.
because
Direct
it's
Star
tricky.
Wars
Because
reference.
again,
They're both very compelling.
But yeah, because the trick
can
that
see where they're
Infinity
coming
War
from.
pulls off is having the
I was kind of
Avengers
just kidding.
be
That was the
Thanos'
Star Wars
adversaries.
reference, though. You're right.
Yeah.
With the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
the baby kind of changing and
Yeah, like that's the Darth Vader moment right there.
Yeah, like
the
right.
redemption. But hey, at least he didn't go, no.
Yeah, he's Darth Vader at the end.
Oh man! And then the
You
little
always know
foot
when he
thing
opens
stuck.
it, he's gonna get
Ah!
and that cliche, but
Oh man! Right? Damn that
He
cliche.
doesn't go, no.
we have to go in too because that's what Woody would do.
For the most getting ready for the most gut-wrenching, traumatic, tension-filled third act of any.
Oh yeah.
forget
Oh
animated
my.
movie,
Oh yes,
Pixar
man.
movie. Like everything from when they go into this dump truck to when they end up in Dante's Inferno.
Definitely the
garbage
darkest Pixar ending.
Oh my god!
Definitely.
Third
I remember
act,
I would
yeah.
talk to my ex all the time back in the day, and she didn't like this movie solely with the fact that it was like, okay, endings of Pixar movies are not supposed to be that terrifying. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, this just kind
Yeah,
of
Rachel Wagner too. Yeah, she brought up like this is way too dark for Pixar.
I disagree. I'm kind of.
I definitely disagree with that.
Yeah, I disagree. I think it's fine.
I give Pixar guts for going this dark.
Oh,
on
man.
them.
It's the
Well,
definitely the whole movie is like the first sequence and up is probably the darkest, but the whole like it doesn't match with the rest of the movie. Here is probably the most dark. This is a funny moment.
The biggest problem is that it is constantly struggling to match the amazingness of those 10 minutes, and it
I wish
never
they
does.
dived into more of a romance between Jesse and Buzz. And
Yeah,
like,
right? Like this movie was kind of subtly hinting at it, but like they never really paid that off. And like that's the whole thing is that the end of 2 was hinting at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we get into the what I'm assuming is going to be a very intense, final act and
To say the
couple
least.
sequences here. We are, if anyone is wondering, we're an hour
Yeah,
and 17 minutes
exactly.
in exactly.
Yeah, right.
So if there was ever a time to tune in, on my first
Hour
watch
and
through, I'm just going to
17.
guess now's the time. An hour and 17, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna get really good, really good.
Oh,
And just so
man.
you know, I was kind of just kidding about him being more compelling than Thanos. Obviously, that's absurd. He is a very strong villain. I'm just telling you. And Elliot, I'm pretty sure you picked up on that, but just so Colin and Ryan and Ankit don't think I'm crazy and everyone in the chat.
Well, just any chance I get to talk about Thanos, I'll take. Because Thanos is, to me, I honestly think even, and this is the same franchise they gave us Iron Man and Captain. I still think that Thanos is the most interesting character that the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe put forward.
Yeah, I agree.
There we go. Who's ready to cry?
Go. Oh, well, not yet. We still got like a solid
25
at least
minutes left.
3 more minutes before we get to that scene. But no, just this whole sequence was masterfully done.
As a music guy, I gotta say
Foreshadowing.
This,
I feel like we're in Terminator
oh my
2
god,
right
this
now.
scene, right? Like this is the
yeah,
old Terminator
wow.
2. And they just get bowled over by that bulldozer.
Foreshadowing.
Oh my god. Like, and it just doesn't stop. And it's just like more things just keep happening. Like, to the point where literally all hope is constantly just stripped away. So,
Yeah.
like, this is torturous, almost.
I love when scenes have like the all hope is lost moment.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the magnet.
The score is really working for this movie.
Yeah,
man.
right?
This is
Hold on to something.
Grab onto something metal.
Where's Magneto when you need him?
Right?
Ryan's brother brought his tissues.
Oh, boy.
I feel you. I mean, I guess I don't know what I'm in for, but wow.
Oh, my brother's here. Great.
I'm wondering if they how extensively they had to, like, study how a garbage dump works.
Aw, Woody.
Oh, and they still go after
Of course, Woody had to go back for him.
Yeah, of
They
course.
get
Woody-
Why, Woody?
Woody, let him go.
No,
Right,
that's
just let him get
portrayed-
vaped.
He's got to help, and then dude, Buzz. That's a great moment. Buzz helping.
Yeah, right?
Because they're best pals.
Love that. So good.
I
This
love that
movie-
they
this-
remembered to
this is the
magnetize
part-
it.
Yeah, this is a perfect movie. This is a perfect movie. this
Wow,
movie,
that was so smart.
right?
Oh
Yeah.
my
I love
god.
This
love
whole
that.
movie
Yeah, this
is
is one of my favorite movies of
brilliant.
all time, man.
Yeah, I love
It is.
the fact that
It's
Lost
the near perfect movie. And
it's
it's
saved
No,
there.
this forgetting your perfect. This is a perfect movie.
Ron saying, "Y'all better get ready. It's almost time." I feel it, man. I don't
Almost.
even know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, right? They're like,
That
That was
I
just
can see
so
the lights.
smart. I
And
can't
it's-
believe how smart that was.
Yeah,
it's
Wow.
it's a smart movie.
There's a
Just
bunch
Buzz
of small,
helping
smart
too
things
is just
like
an
that.
underrated moment too. He's just
What?
I don't know.
Dante's
What are we about to go
Inferno.
into?
Dante's.
Dante's
Oh my
Inferno right here. I
This
remember.
is insane.
I remember.
Dude.
So as if
Yeah,
to
I'm trying
not
to-
only.
What? How did we
this
get
even
here?
crazier. So
How did we
I
get
was
here?
I was 13 years old when this movie came out, and I watched it at the drive-thru. I didn't even go
The
to see
drive-thru.
this. I saw this at the drive-thru,
Yeah.
and it
Woody,
was
come on, man.
seeing this like on an even bigger screen than you would usually be used to. Like, oh man, that was. I remember.
Bro, imagine seeing it. You must have known the experience for me and many people seeing this for the first time
Yeah.
in
Oh
the
my
theater.
God.
Did you actually think that they're about to
I,
kill the toys? Did you?
for a second, I thought they were. I'm
I'm
like, oh
like-
my God, are they actually
I'm
gonna do
shocked
this?
that they're going to this type of moment.
Oh
Can't
my
believe Watson
God,
would do
scumbag. Scumbag.
This is like, it's, without a doubt, this is like top 10 best executed scenes for me.
yeah. Just like
Of
about
all
third
time.
acts, like just overall like endings of a movie.
Bro.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, there were some movies this year that had some great endings, but like
How
it's funny
did-
because so in my group's own individual award ceremony, we actually have a category for best movie ending, and like there was no other ending for me from 2010 that even
There it
touched
goes.
this
This
movie.
is the
I have
shot.
not
right here, dude.
felt
Yeah.
this much. Just, I'm in shock. This.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
I
It's
love this moment.
I
traumatizing.
do
Like
not
this scene
know
is
how we got
traumatizing.
I love this.
Oh my
No
goodness,
dialogue,
bro.
just stares.
Yeah.
This,
And then
And
they all
that's
just
cool.
hold each other's hands
Yeah.
as they
Who did the
prepare
score for this movie?
It-
I
Yeah.
want to know who did the score
Dude.
for this movie.
Randy Newman.
Oh, it's Randy Newman?
Yeah.
Wow.
oh,
I thought it was someone else.
Oh,
I love
shit. I thought it was Randy Newman.
I thought
did
he
this
just
one,
did
but-
like the songs.
No, Randy
Oh
Newman
my-
does the score too.
Oh,
This is like the
score
cutest
is
and most
incredible
scariest
for
shit
the
I've ever
movie.
seen in my
Yeah.
entire life.
like just
Oh my
This is
God.
absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
Fucking
it's
cry,
nuts.
dude.
Oh my God, this film is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I can't believe I had no idea what this was going to be like.
Very,
get
very
ready,
well
get
earned.
ready, get ready, get ready.
Yep, Randy Newman did the score for this.
Oh my God,
It's
that's
amazing.
the shot right there. That's the shot.
Yo.
Yeah. Oh my God.
They just
And they're
knew that
closing
they're
their eyes as they're prepping for the end.
Remember when I said foreshadowing?
Like Jesus Christ.
the
I
claw.
said great use of foreshadowing.
Like just from this sequence alone, I'm like, yeah. I'm like the minute that I heard Toy Story for announced, I'm like, just why? After this sequence alone, I'm like, why do we need another movie in this franchise?
No.
Exactly.
You're right.
Oh man.
I
Talk about
haven't
the payoff.
They
The
showed the
payoff
claw
and
earlier.
no payoffs.
Great.
Let's
with
go.
the claw.
Great
That's-
foreshadowing.
That is the Avengers Assemble moment of this
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I haven't
Yeah,
even
not a
seen
give
the
a round
first
of
one.
That is
for
this
that.
series portals moment.
I am
Top 10
not
greatest uses of foreshadowing.
I'm not going to watch the fourth one ever because
No,
I want
there's
to
no reason to. There's
Yeah,
no
I'm not
reason
gonna
to.
watch it. No way.
I still
Absolutely no
haven't
reason
seen
to.
it. I still haven't seen it for
And you're
this very
not
reason.
missing anything.
No,
This is
honestly,
the
Okay,
greatest
I-
ending.
In solidarity, I'll join you on that.
Yeah,
man, 'cause this is
I was just
phenomenal.
like, no need.
And the movie's not even over yet.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
As if to make
You're gonna
things
get something
crazier.
great.
Oh
Yeah.
man. And the
Wow.
ending is arguably even more
Yeah.
gut wrenching.
I gotta
believe it
go
or
to
not.
a,
Buzz, he's like, he gave Jesse that smirk, like, hey, what'd you do today?
Hey.
Oh. And,
What
then,
they do
throw
with
and in this moment, you're reminded that like the aliens are kind of their adopted kids,
Yeah, pretty
which you
much.
almost forgot about. But
Yeah, I thought Lotso was gonna end up with Sid.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
With the dump truck.
And it's so funny because, like, if anything, like again, this is kind of like how it confirms that Lotso is still and that Sid is still that same kid, even as a 30-year-old garbage man.
I gotta
And
throw
now
it
he's
to
going
Look,
out
man.
with
Oh,
some
I
new
love
friends.
this. I love this. It's like
I never thought I
would.
would ever hear the words "toys accepting death" in a sentence yet be so moved
Right.
by it. Like that.
Oh,
is
that
something-
scene was great.
Yeah.
That was like a Muppet scene right there.
I have a feeling this is going to be how you do resolution in a screenplay.
Oh man. And like I said, Chris,
Resolution.
you thought that was crazy.
Look at the animation.
Isn't there more?
Yeah. Oh, there's more.
Wow. Okay. I
Oh,
don't know
man.
how you top that, but
Oh,
we'll
bro.
find out, I guess.
Well, I won't.
Yeah.
Don't anybody say anything.
I
Chris
really
Scott
don't know how you
experienced
top
this on
that.
his own.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Oh.
Oh, there's Sid again.
Chris, you have to watch without our commentating
Yeah.
to watch
we
it. Just
might
like,
have to be silent for this next part. Well,
Oh,
they
Colin, I'm
see-
probably going to
they
watch
see
this
Sid
after we
back.
get off this stream
yeah,
tonight.
so I'm thinking
Yeah.
about watching it
That
afterwards.
seems
Yeah,
like a
right.
shirt Colin would wear.
God damn it.
This guy, man.
Right? It's like we've all had that.
I mean, when I go to work, you know, I have to wear a button up for work.
Yeah.
Kind of. Sometimes I break the rules.
Oh.
Put on my t-shirts.
Love this.
I love how they take the time to get cleaned up for anime.
Yeah, right. Another great throwback to 2.
Yep.
Oh man.
The room's completely empty.
There's just such urgency in the scene. You know?
Yeah. But also just like you get a sense of finality from this. Like
Great
so many
sense of
like
finality.
like that's the thing, like so many like third movies are just like third movies that like they really undersell the idea that like the ending is over. And like to me this is like one of the great trilogies. Like to me like this is my second favorite trilogy after the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And in some senses like this movie is an even better third act than Return of the King. Even Return of the King goes on for like a little bit too long.
He's going to he's
down the line saying goodbye to everyone. And you think that this is it, but it was one last surprise.
One last time.
Yep.
Buzz's Spanish mode. That's why
Right.
it gets frisky.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yeah,
the
yeah, like-
animation on Buzz too. So good.
Wow, that's
If
such
you look at Toy
that's
Story
between the
1,
two of them.
Toy Story 1 is like shockingly like this is such a big improvement from it's crazy. Even 2 is such a big improvement.
That's the thing. Like people, because
Yeah.
2 and 3 are so good, people constantly like undersell the first one. But I rewatched that first movie is still a perfect movie to me. That's my favorite movie from '95.
Yeah, that's my favorite Toy Story movie. Still the
And then
first
keep in
one.
mind that '95. That's the same year that we got Heat, Usual Suspects, Braveheart, Casino, GoldenEye, Dead Man Walking, bunch of other movies that are great movies that I can't remember. Friday, and Toy Story to me beats them all. That first movie.
Wow.
Yeah, this was my favorite movie in '95.
Yeah. Also, the
Dude.
criminally underrated A Goofy movie.
Dude,
Yeah,
2000
that movie's underrated.
So, wow, this makes dude. My
different
mom
movies.
was so sad when I moved out for college. Man, this is like wild.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
He used to look.
He's seeing them all
Monster.
together.
Like I said, one last surprise.
Mhm.
One last little twist. And see, unlike Ryan Johnson, this is how you subvert expectations.
Damn, you're
I
trying to throw
hated
back.
that the freaking Last Jedi ruined that. I'm like, no, I'm like, you idiot. This is not how you subvert expectations. I'm like, this is how you be an edgelord troll, not how you subvert expectations.
the dog stuff's getting to me.
Oh, man. Do you think that's getting to you? The silence for this next part. Sorry, viewers, but this next part requires silence.
He's putting the address down, I think.
But whose address could it be? That old beat-up car. I'm pretty sure that's also the same car that they drove at the end of that first Toy Story movie when they were moving.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Yep. Little zoom in. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant how that movie fools you. Oh, man.
Look at Bonnie.
I may need the tissues.
Yeah. This scene, like, as sad as that lava scene, that Dante's Inferno scene was, it's got nothing to be on this scene.
I'm interested to see how I didn't get a good glimpse at her parents. If I wanted to see if they had the same design as they did in 4.
I don't remember.
They
Because, again, this movie, 10 years old, is more memorable than anything that 4, which was only a year old.
You really only see the mom in this one, not the dad.
I mean, you saw the dad briefly in the background there.
Yeah.
Pulls them all out, introduces them one by one, wrapping up their story here, but also ensuring that they have a new story to tell. Oh my god. Because it brings it back to what makes these movies so special to begin with. It's just like just seeing there's a little kid like light up at the thought of something so simple and yet so extraordinary.
Mrs. Potato Head wasn't introduced until 2, right?
2, yeah. The
2.
whole was that she was a Christmas gift at the end of the first one.
Yeah, that's right. Aw, so cute.
Pizza Planet. Yeah.
Aliens. What were those guys in the claw machine, the original Pizza Planet, the first one? Buzz. Remember when Buzz was the cool new toy?
Yeah.
I love how there's just this unwritten rule, like you can't be alive around people because they are so committed to their jobs to bring joy to kids, you know?
Yep. And he thinks he's done too.
And now I'm just ready to cry.
Oh man. Because you still think.
Oh God, I can't.
Oh my God.
I literally can't with this.
Yep. She notices again that this movie tricked you. Again, this is how you subvert expectations, people. Oh man, like he's shocked because he was planning on bringing him with him. Like that's his guy.
Oh,
that's his ride or die. Like look at him, he's not even ready to let him go yet. What the fuck?
Oh my God.
Oh man,
this is absolutely like heartbreaking.
This is oh my God.
I got shivers right now.
Yeah, I got dude, chills.
This is like one of the only moments in movies that can like actually make me cry.
Wow, this is an amazing film.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll never give up on you.
Oh my God.
Never.
Oh.
And then I just started crying for like 10 minutes straight.
Yep. This is the moment to me where like I always get to these moments in movies where you get to like a really tear-jerking, like heartbreaking third act, like the ending of Furious 7. I know, terrible movie to bring up in comparison, but like Paul Walker's death, like and how they honored him really.
I gotta say, 2010 had 2 of my favorite film endings of all time, Inception and this. I gotta say, this is my favorite film ending of all time.
It's
I would say Inception, but this.
And then one last day of playing with his toys.
Wow.
Because this fulfilled everything for me.
Oh my God. Like
this is like closure. This is what closure
this is how you freaking do closure.
I have no idea why they even made a 4th film after this.
That's what I'm saying. Like money.
Yeah, the root of all evils.
Like of all, like that's the thing. Because again, I don't hate Toy Story 4. I don't think it's a bad movie. But of all the just talk about unnecessary Pixar sequels, like why?
There we
this
go.
Ending is just perfect.
Like I just look at this. Like this.
Oh my God!
Look.
Waving
no, don't do that.
Did the score get an Oscar nomination? Did Randy Newman get nominated?
I don't think so. No,
he didn't. I am just shocked.
It was. I'm trying to remember. That was well, Reznor and Ross won for Social Network, and rightfully so. But the other nominees it was How to Train Your Dragon, which deserved it. Inception because Hans Zimmer, so he's guaranteed a nomination. A.R. Rahman for 27 hours, and then of course Alexander Desplat for the freaking King's Speech. Get King's Speech out of there. Put this movie in.
And yep, the final line.
Wow, what a shot!
Final shot as they watch him drive off into the distance.
Listen to this, Chris.
Man.
So long, partner. Oh my God, man.
And something I love this movie did was brought back the credits.
Yeah, those little clips that they played during the credits, and then he introduces them. Oh my God. That's how you end a trilogy. That's how you end a movie. God damn.
Yep, that's my favorite film ending of all time. Easily.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That is absolutely incredible. Oh my God.
Yes, they brought it back.
Yep. They brought back the clips, and it is brilliantly done.
Good.
Yeah, this is a perfect movie. I'm just gonna break it out right out of the bat. This is a perfect movie.
Like for real, this deserves a clap. Like for real.
This is one of those.
I can't believe this, guys.
Yeah.
I'm shivering right now. Like actually, I'm not just saying that because I'm actually
definitely watch it without our commentary for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna dude. I'm gonna watch this movie a lot. I feel going forward.
No, this movie. I might have to start
the credits. This is great.
I might have to start putting in the Toy Story movies going forward now for, just like how they wrap every little bit up. Like it's so well done. Now they turn the box into like a sandpit chill area. Oh man.
And Ken just running Sunnyside.
This. So well done. This movie movie is so good that we're even
And yeah,
commenting
we can
during
see
the
the
post
soldiers
credits,
coming out.
during the credits clips.
Wow.
I think
my God.
everything you want to have happen at the end does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to
Absolutely.
see Ken running Sunnyside, which should have happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Again,
I
it's
think
like
we
you
need
said,
this.
Sunnyside could be cool and groovy if we wanted it to be.
This
And
it
it
almost
is.
feels like they had to have this in here because if not, like
Yeah. Like
this is
every
just so heavy,
single
if
scene
not. Yeah.
in this movie matters.
Yeah, certain vids, man. We're about to do our post discussion. We're watching the end credits scene right now.
because
and
it's
I
just
know
it's,
I'm just shook. I'm shook. Yeah.
yep. Even that monkey, even that stupid monkey got a good wrap up.
Yep.
Hey, the monkey was scary, man.
Yep. And I love how they like pass messages back and forth now. They've got like a little correspondence
Yeah.
going.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Oh man. Got like a new home.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh man.
That's funny.
And Rex finally has another dinosaur to play with. Another payoff.
Mm-hmm.
So much closure. Why did you make a fourth one? You
That's what I'm saying.
I know, right?
foolish.
I mean, it's
Foolish and
already
greedy.
bad enough that every single sequel / prequel that they made was just unsatisfying when it could have actually been cool. But they make another movie after this?
Yeah, Colin, like you said, man, like they were obviously sad to see,
And
Andy
look,
drive
just
away,
look,
but
look, this little smile right here, because I love that.
that is great. They're just so committed though to like getting back to their job, man,
Yeah, right.
in the new house. Like they're pros.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're really
Oh, man.
professional.
Yeah,
They are.
Timothy Dalton as the little thespian hedgehog.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Fixing the rocket ship.
Yep.
I love it.
Wait, this
And then they start playing the music, and he starts dancing, and he starts realize why.
this is actually a great remix. The song.
Oh man, is this Living La Vida Loca?
No, it's "You Got a Friend in Me" in Spanish.
Duh. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to what it sounds like. And then like this little, oh man, that look, I love that. Yeah, this movie, honestly, like I don't think I would ever say this. This is an animated movie, and this deserves a set design, like a production design nomination, 100%.
Mhm.
110.
Like the detail that goes into every single frame of this movie. Oh man! Again, if not for Social Network, like I only gave I think 5 stars to 2 movies. Sorry, spoiler alert, but I only gave 5 stars to 2 movies from 2010, and this is 100% one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 movies for me.
Yeah. From 2010, what was the third one?
Yeah, Social Network, Inception, in this.
Oh, see, so Inception was still a 4.5. I liked it a lot, but yeah. Oh man, so
Wow.
that's it for the scene. So yeah, I mean,
Absolutely, wow.
I don't know if there's going to be too much post-credits discussion, but yeah, I think it's safe to say I think we can all agree this is a perfect movie. This is a perfect movie. It accomplished everything that it mentioned. You want like great
Without
wrap
a
up,
doubt.
great emotional like fulfillment to just everything that had been built up. Hilarious movie. Like the humorous highs are matched only by the emotional lows. Like and also just like from an epic grand scale, this is one of the few animated movies that I would consider to be truly, truly epic. Like, guys, thoughts, panel.
Yeah, Dom. Well, you run the show for a minute. I gotta go hug my dog.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Hug your dog.
Like,
Screw it. Take
seriously.
again, like the Toy
First
Story movies,
thing
they
I'm
make you
doing.
like actually want to go out and play with your toys again. Like, and we're all like mid-20s to like almost 30. And that's the
Yeah.
effect that these movies have on us. Like,
No,
that is how special these movies are.
100%, man. I honestly need to just catch my breath for a minute.
Yeah.
So we'll just go around the circle, starting with Elliott, and then
Yep.
moving our way through, man. Like, how you feeling right now, dude?
I mean, it's the perfect feeling of walking out of a film, or in this case, just finishing up a film. It's just that nostalgia, just that that remembrance of home and being a kid and being innocent, but also transitioning into your next phase of your life. That's what we saw Annie do at the end there, and sure, we didn't need a fourth one, but it does, kind of simulates in regards to passing a torch to another generation. We always got to remember there are kids that haven't seen any of these films, right? So the fourth one makes them go back and revisit the original ones. But no, this is, like you guys said, it's a perfect film. It's a perfect ending to the trilogy that we all knew and grew up with. But like I said, the fourth one does have a little cherry on top for those that are, like I said, kind of maybe getting into animation and putting their iPads down, as we talked about a little bit earlier. But yeah, just the voice acting, the set design, the score. I mean, what else can you say about this film itself? It's just perfect.
Yeah, it's a perfect movie. All right, Ryan.
Yeah, I talked about it at the beginning. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I absolutely love Toy Story 3. It's a perfect movie, like you said. Great beginning, great middle, perfect ending. My favorite film ending of all time. Just this movie is phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah, Ankit. Exactly.
So,
the thought process we all have after that.
Even baby.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, since we're all holding up toys, this is when I popped out for a second. I actually wanted to go get this because this is the toy I was talking about. And because this, if you want a closer look, it's a big boa from G.I. Joe. And I pretty much got this because that movie has been so inspiring to kind of just like relive. Obviously, I'm not going to play with it, but just the fact like I can look at it, I get so many memories rushing back. It's crazy how a film can do that. It just like it takes you on like a journey back 20 years or something. Honestly, great idea streaming this. This was really good. I'm really glad I rewatched that, and I am now definitely not going to watch the fourth one.
Yeah, no, there's no reason to.
I'm right
Again,
there
it's
with you,
fine, but like, there's no reason to watch it. Colin, again, like a guy going back to our first Pixar thing that we did for the channel, and now it only seems fit that you're here for this one.
Yeah, man. Probably my favorite Pixar movie, or at least one of the ones. I know Baby Yoda really approves of this as well, so I had to bring him out as well. So, dude, this movie just rules. I think it's a great 3-act structure. The pacing, dude, this movie moves, man. It just gets right into it.
Yeah, it does.
Again, I really appreciate that this Toy Story film just feels like the most distinct and different out of all the ones, especially leading up to this point in 2010 when this movie came out. Felt so different from the previous iterations. And yeah, man, obviously the voice acting is fantastic. The score, I think, was really underrated that we kind of hit on, and it was one of kind of an epiphany watching this film a little bit and not getting nominated and whatnot. So I'm not even kidding. I'm going to clean up my set after this, and I'm going to go watch it without, just maybe watching my girlfriend and even get even more in the feels and stuff, because the movie's wonderful. Definitely one of my favorite movies of all time, at least by at least top 50 movie of all time for me. So.
Absolutely. Chris, so kind of give your final thoughts, then I'm going to move around and we're going to go through star ratings. So, Chris.
Yeah, man. So I guess I'll just be honest. I was coming into this more so looking forward to hanging out with you guys and just sort of chatting. Like, Pixar hasn't really been my jam for a while. And I didn't really think it was possible to feel the way I felt again watching, like, Monsters, Inc. or like the first Toy Story or Finding Nemo. Cars was great. I was a little older then, but it was still great. Like, to capture that magic again, and listen, I honestly almost cried there at the end. My emotions were like up here in like the pit of hell scene. And then we just get this perfect closure. And I'm really glad you guys grab your toys, because like this little tiny, funny little snubble thing that I think I got from like Burger King when I was like 6, right?
Oh, wow. That's throwing it back.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I can't throw it out. And I've been trying to remind myself why I can't throw it out. And this movie is just like, I'm gonna do some soul searching tonight. Okay, let's put it that way. So
Chris is Donald Glover from that one episode of Community where he's just screaming in the middle, "My emotions, my emotions." That's Chris right now. But so yeah,
I love this movie. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, this movie's unbelievable. So like I said, I want to save my piece for last because I'd like to think that I've actually got like something very meaningful to say and very important to say. But yeah, let's go around kind of closing thoughts and star ratings, starting with Elliott.
Out of 5, I give it a 5 out of 5. No doubt.
Nice. Ryan?
A+.
Nice. Talkin?
Yeah, easy 5 for sure.
All right. Colin?
Yeah, I do letter grades on my channel, so I'll do A+, 5 out of 5, and a 10 out of 10, and an awesome tacular.
Nice. Throwing a reference to John's right there. I love it. Chris.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 4.7 because the lighting and color. No, I'm just kidding. This
I
is
was about to say, don't even start. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Not the time.
this is the easiest 5 I have ever given, and I think I ever will give on this show.
Yeah, so kind of before I give my super like out of left field that rating that nobody will absolutely see coming, I just wanted to say, so it's a question that I've constantly been asked when I obviously throughout my college experience, which is the idea of I've heard the term cinema, right? The idea of like you've always heard this. You've heard this from every single film professor that you've ever had if you've ever taken a film class. Is the difference between movies and cinema. And it's something that I always have to wrap my mind around because I'm like, well, I don't get it. Movies are supposed to be for everyone. You know, why do they have to be like these two separate things? And I'm understanding now kind of as I get a little bit older and I understand a little bit more about movies and what they mean. And to me, at least, the idea of cinema is the fact that a group of people were able to take a series of moving images and assemble them in a way that was able to tell a story and that could be understandable to anyone. The idea that anyone from a little kid to the oldest old man, like 90-year-old, right on the cusp of death itself, could understand the idea of the story being told through the moving image. And it's always killed me how certain higher-ups, if you will, constantly discount animation, saying, oh, because it's not real people, because it's drawings, because it's computer animation, you know, that'll never have the same type of effect that real people will have with movies. And if there's one thing that this fucking movie I feel like demonstrated is that could not be farther from the truth, because this movie to me is cinema. This movie is like anybody from like a 2-year-old to a 90-year-old man could watch this movie and get something from it. This movie is the fucking easiest 5 out of 5 I have ever given. This movie's a fucking perfect movie. 1,000%. Sorry, I had to get a little bit preachy there, but I feel like if anything, it's warranted for this one.
Preach, man. Preach.
Yeah.
So, guys, this was way more fun than I thought it was. This was such a ride. I feel like, wow.
Yeah.
This is like,
blast.
yeah. Thank you guys again so much for giving up your time and coming on and chatting with us. And also thank you to everyone in the chat. A couple of you subscribed throughout the course of this thing. A couple of you threw this video a thumbs up, and that really means a lot to us. This is a hobby, but we would love to see it, you know, become something because we just love it so much. So the fact that you guys showed us some love tonight means a lot. And so with that being said, the number one thing we always encourage you guys to do after we wrap these things up is go and show our guests some love. So just going around in the same order again, you know, just going in chronological camera order. That was the wrong camera direction. This is hard, Dom. Yeah, this
It is.
hard.
I keep telling you, it's ridiculous. You have to point it like the opposite direction. But yeah.
We're gonna start with my main man Elliott here on oh, thank you, Ron. Appreciate that, dude. Appreciate you being here. My main man Elliott here over on Movie Files, dude. Why don't you let the people know where they can find you, what to expect from you in the coming weeks, and all it is that you do over on your channel, bro.
Yeah, no, it's always a pleasure to be with you guys, Dom and Chris, and all the other awesome panelists tonight. Like Chris said, make sure you guys show them some support. They all have great content, Instagram pages, YouTube, so definitely show them some support. But yeah, thank you guys again for having me on. And as far as just things to look forward to, what did I just watch? I watched a rap network on Netflix that I'm going to put a review out for. Just reviewed King of Staten Island today. Got Doom Patrol coming up later this week, so you know, reviewing that, and then just more fun conversations around, you know, TV shows, movies, you know, watch-alongs coming up next month. But again, Chris, Dom, it's always a pleasure, guys, and thank you for having me on tonight.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Absolutely. Thank you for constantly being here, dude. You are a very welcome presence here.
Yeah. So Ryan, man, the new guy in the bunch, and hopefully we'd love to have you back, dude. You know, so don't be a stranger, man.
Podcast collab. That'd be fun.
Exactly. I would love that. I would love that
awesome.
very much. Well, we'll talk for sure. But Ryan, tell people about you, where they can find you, what you have coming up, and you know, just sort of the vibe of your channel, man.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for inviting me on to do this. I'd absolutely love to join you guys for another one and more to come. This was an absolute blast. Rewatching one of my favorite movies of all time, Toy Story 3. Yeah, if you guys want to find my YouTube channel, I'm Ryan O'Toole. Like I said at the beginning, I do reviews, I do ranking videos, Blu-ray videos, and Colin Williams and we do a podcast called the Fallen for Film Podcast. We do it every single week. New episodes drop every Monday morning at 10 a.m. where we talk all the newest movie news and do a lot of fun movie content on there. As far as videos coming out for me this week, I just uploaded 2 new videos today. My review for the new Amazon Prime Video movie, 7500 with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and as well as a top 10 favorite action movies of all time video. Those videos drop for me. Tomorrow is going to be my top 10 favorite MCU duos. And next week, I have a very exciting video dropping on my channel reacting to unpopular movie opinions. So that's what's coming up basically on my channel. And thank you guys once again for having me on.
Yeah, man, of course.
Yeah,
I'm looking
absolutely.
forward to
Thank
it.
you for being here. It was awesome having you.
Yeah. So, Ankit, famous for the 60-second review, man. Why don't you let people know where they can find you and what to expect in the coming weeks?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty simple. You can expect another 60-second review coming up. In terms of following, it's the Casual Moviegoer on Instagram. No other channels out there. And for reviews, I'm actually going to do a throwback review for Inception, since we talked about it so much. It kind of works out that Tenet is coming out, and there's this weird fan theory that Inception might be tied into it, and it's the 10-year anniversary for Inception. So there's a lot of moving parts, so I feel like it'd be good to do a throwback review. And then after that, I'm actually going to do a review for Blood Machines, which is an amazing sci-fi film on the Shudder horror streaming app. So definitely look forward to that. And honestly, again, thank you for having me. Great movie, great time, great talking with all of you. Thanks again.
Yeah, man, for sure. You're always welcome back, and I'm sure we'll be having you on here again in no time. So thank you for giving up your time to come and hang out with us. And of course, last but not least, our first collaborator and our officially established Pixar guy, the one and only Colin Williams of Colin Williams Review, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. This was an absolute blast. I'm literally going to watch the movie again right after this. I don't normally do that very often, but you can follow me on my YouTube page. Just look at my name up, Colin Williams. And then on Instagram, Colin Williams Reviews, Twitter, Colin Williams MR. And if you want my first initial reaction to any movie I ever see, I'm on Letterboxd at CWilliams991. Really active on that, like literally any movie. I actually recently watched Raging Bull and $1 Million Baby yesterday for the first time, and my Letterboxd reviews are up there and stuff. So be sure to follow me there. As far as the content that's coming out on my channel, actually, before we got on the stream, I just finished editing my top 10 favorite comic book movies of all time, and that was a ton of fun to make. Lots of great movies I was able to talk about, one of my favorite genres. And then I did my Captain America review, because I'm doing a rewatch series leading up to Black Widow for the next, well, it was 23 weeks, but now I guess the next 18 weeks or something like that. So yeah, that's what's coming up on my channel. I'll probably do some more stuff. And then obviously Ryan and I have our podcast that we're recording in 2 days from now that drops on Monday at 10 a.m. We have Austin Burke as a guest. Yeah, Austin Burke's going to be our guest on that episode. And if you haven't seen any previous episodes, Elliott was on one as well. So
yeah, go check that out.
That one out.
And Ronald.
So, yeah, Ronald as well.
Ronald too.
So thank you guys so much for having me. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we can honestly, you can only have me on your channel for Pixar talk. That's kind of our thing.
That's what I've been saying. We can only ever have you on for Pixar stuff now.
I'm about it because I obviously have a lot to learn, and I'm ready. I finally feel ready for it.
Yeah, now, Chris, now you understand why Pixar is the best.
I do. And so, Dom, I have no good segue because I'm just still so bewildered by what I just saw.
I got this.
Take it away, Dom.
Guys, I'm the movie nerd. That's the TV nerd. We are the Talkin TV podcast. As always, be sure to click the like button and the subscribe button. Leave a comment. What did you guys think? What are some more watch alongs that you want for us? We've got a few that we have planned for the next month. We won't share them just yet because we want them to be a surprise. Chris, don't spoil them. But stay tuned in order for more awesome watch alongs as far as content we've got coming out. We, of course, similar to what Colin has done. Colin, I don't know if there was a rip-off situation here because I don't know who actually decided to do it first, but I am also doing not necessarily a road to Black Widow, but I am doing my Marvel ranking series where I am ranking all 22 movies in the Infinity Saga. I don't count Far From Home because anything post-Endgame is dead to me as far as I'm concerned, but that's just me. So stay tuned. Like I said, we've got a lot more content coming out. We're also in audio format on Anchor, Talkin TV. If you type that into basically any place that you go to listen to podcasts, we are there. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, a whole bunch of other things that I'm not going to list off right now. Follow our socials, Talkin TV, no G, on Facebook and Instagram. And like I said,
TV podcast on
absolutely,
Instagram. Talkin TV podcast.
Absolutely. And so, Chris, without further ado, can I do my thing? Are you done?
I just want to just say real quick that tomorrow night, Elliott and I will be over on Flix Talks YouTube channel watching Train to Busan, which is going to be awesome, 9 p.m. sharp. And then next Thursday, me and Dom will be over on Guy at the Movies channel watching amazing, fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Oh, and I actually have to plug one thing real quick. I have a really unpopular opinion about a movie. I hate the movie Mad Max Fury Road. I hate it. I think it's
it's amazing.
And I've never done a watch.
It is amazing.
Topic for a potential future debate: movies that everyone else likes that Colin hates. That might have to be a topic.
It's not the only one. It's not the only one.
That's what I'm saying. That's a potential thing. So, guys, as always, thank you.
I was thinking. Yeah. I was gonna say. I was thinking about doing a watch along for that. If you guys wanted to maybe set that up.
I'm definitely joining you for that, Colin.
Because I can make fun of it the whole time while you guys are praising it.
I'm down with that. Let us know what you're thinking. We will arrange our schedules.
That's an anniversary that we kind of missed, but it's definitely something that could be arranged. But guys,
so I guess guys still here in the chat, you have some potential things to look forward to. But right now, there is one way that if you guys know our show and if you're a newcomer, regardless, there's one way and only one way we end this thing. So Dom, please take it away.
From myself, Chris, Elliott, Ryan, Colin, and Ankit. As always, people, watch more fucking movies. We out.
Thanks for being here.
I gotta go to work tomorrow. Bye.